tired the past couple of days, to be honest. Like I was on CNN and then I did Piers Morgan and like I woke up early for these interviews and like, I was just tired. So I was like, I'll just take the time. But now we're back. And we're going to do some more debates this evening. And then last night I was live, but then I got banned anyway, it doesn't matter. We were talking about the Middle East. I got a live, an age restriction, and then I went off of live and then I couldn't come back. It doesn't matter, but we're here now. That's what matters. So make sure to keep double tapping the screen, boost those likes. Let's try to get to 100,000 likes super quickly. It goes an incredibly long way and helps boost the live, all of that good stuff. Right up there. And then, of course, drop a follow if you haven't already and spam those shares down there. You know the drill by now. If you've been here, you know the drill. You know what we do here. You know what we're about. We're talking to MAGA, ladies and gentlemen. We're talking to MAGA. So if you are MAGA, if that description fits you, make sure to request up. Make sure to request up and we'll talk and we can have a beautiful conversation about it. MAGA from Pennsylvania. I talked to you before. You were the one complaining about the people in the airports, right? It's that guy right there. All right. Yeah, okay. Let's do this, everybody. All right, if you're MAGA, let me know in the chat. I will bring you up and we shall talk. Yeah? Sounds good? I think it sounds good to me. Hopefully it sounds good to you guys as well. I'm excited to be back to debates. I like debating. Even though I debate lunatics, even though these people are crazy. Thank you for the hat and mustache. I appreciate you. Sorry, I'm recording data right now. It's like a whole thing I do. Even though we debate lunatics, whatever, it doesn't matter. It's still fun, right? I like to at least engage. All right, we're good now. I'm fully focused. Let's lock the hell in right now. We're locking in. Okay, well, Hayden, I was going to invite you, but your bio is you being homophobic, so I'm not going to invite you now. His bio is crazy. All right, let's pick from the box. I'm going to pick from the box this time. People who have requested up. I'm going to pick from the box. I'm just going to scroll randomly. I hit on this guy. All right, let's see what this guy has to say. Is he coming up? Where'd he go? No, he's not coming up. All right, then we'll pick somebody else. Oh, this guy left as well. Well, it's okay. I understand that MAGA's scared of Kamala Harris. They're scared of the debate. They don't want it. It's fine. No, I understand. No problem. You don't have to tell us. We understand. Hello, Trevor. You MAGA?
Yeah, I am. That's why I requested to join, sir.
How old are you, bro?
I'm 22. I'm older than you, boy.
Okay. Why you MAGA?
I mean, the last 4 years I've been a shit show, so.
Really? So what do you dislike expanding veterans healthcare, lowering healthcare costs, fighting climate change? You think that's a mess? You think that's bad?
Well, that's just not reality, Parker. This has not happened.
I'm not Parker.
Yeah, my bad. You guys act the exact same way.
Really? Well, I mean, I'm just saying, like, I don't know if you say that, we expanded healthcare for veterans and you say that's a bad thing. I'm just curious why you think that.
Okay, see, now you're picking and choosing, right?
It's not picking and choosing.
I mean, it is. You just pick one thing. So
I can pick a variety of accomplishments from the Biden administration. We could talk about investment infrastructure. We could talk about historic investment in cancer research and development for treatments and things like that. I can talk about the historic judicial appointments. I mean, what you tell me something you want to talk about, and I'm there.
Okay, first of all, you're delusional if you think we don't already have a cure for cancer. Like, did you know we already have it, right? But they're just not going to release it because they won't make any more money off of it. They're not going to make any money if they come out with it.
Okay, so you're just wow. Okay, so you're really stupid. Okay, yeah, no, that's just objectively not true. A company who I've heard this conspiracy theory before. If a company came up with a cancer cure, they would make infinitely more money than they would treating cancer.
That's not true.
It absolutely is true. If a healthcare company managed to come up with a cure, the first healthcare company, they would have government contracts, private contracts. They'd probably become a multi-trillion-dollar company like that overnight. But right now, in their current state, they're not going to. That's not the case. So this is, first of all, you need to get off of like Reddit and wherever you're getting these conspiracy theories and just open your eyes to the real world.
Okay, so you telling me we got a vaccine for COVID in 3 months, but we can get a
oh no
we can get a cure for cancer, and it's been how long?
Oh no. What's do you know what COVID is?
COVID-19.
Yeah, like what?
Coronavirus?
It's a virus, right? You agree?
Yeah, they created in a Chinese lab.
Yeah. So what's cancer?
Cancer is something that you get where it turns your blood, where it identifies. I don't know if it identifies as red blood cells or white blood cells. But it cannot. The white blood cells cannot detect it. That's cancer, buddy.
Okay. So
I just.
wow. Scott, God help us all. If this is, God help us all. This guy. By the way, I just want everybody to know. Just be quiet. I want everybody to know if you're like an undecided voter, you're like, yeah, I don't know if like Kamala Harris or Trump. Just remember that this guy's vote counts as much as yours does. So just remember that this guy, you don't want this guy to have more of a say than you do, and the fact that you have equal say is like crazy.
Wait, is that because I'm a minority? Is that because am I minority?
I have no idea what you are. You could be Donald Trump in disguise. I don't know. I wouldn't be surprised when you're coming up with these conspiracy theories.
Republicans don't do that with Democrats. How did Joe Biden get taller, by the way?
How did he get what?
How did he get taller? Can you explain that to me?
What? What are you talking? Oh my God, you're actually crazy, bro.
How did he get taller?
What he did? He's been 6 foot his entire adult life.
Now he's like 6'4". He grew.
He's not 6'4".
He grew a couple. He kind of looks like it.
Okay. Yeah, you have a good rest of your night. Go back to Reddit, buddy. Where nobody's saving you. Nobody's saving this guy. Nobody's saving this guy. Nobody's saving this guy. That poor soul is too far gone, ladies and gentlemen. It's just what are you going to do here, ladies and gents? Make sure to double tap the screen. Let's try to get to 200,000 likes. Also, drop a follow if you haven't already. Colton, come here, buddy. Why are you muted? How you doing, Harry? Did I talk to you recently?
You talked to me like a couple weeks ago.
Was our conversation good or what? What happened?
It was pretty good, I would say.
Okay. Okay. All right. Well, maybe I'll try it again. Why are you MAGA?
Trump's just better. But really what I came up here to address is some of your tweets.
Okay, what tweet?
And so when Biden pulled out of the race, you tweeted, quote, I wanted him to keep pushing forward.
I didn't tweet that.
I begged him not to pull out.
I did not tweet that.
I feel empty now.
I did not tweet that.
You didn't?
No. You can go to my actual Twitter account and see that obviously I did not tweet that.
Sure about that. All right, I'm going to go to your Twitter.
Go ahead. Go and go ahead and scroll, bud. Go ahead and scroll. Hey, God. So we're starting off strong tonight with two lunatics.
That's really weird.
What's weird?
What you just did with your lips.
I was making a sound. I'm sorry if that. Can you go find the tweet now?
Yeah. Okay. You probably deleted it because you
I didn't. I never tweeted that. Why would I tweet that?
Because your name is Hawk to a Harry.
Oh, okay. You guys are just super weird. I don't know why you guys sexualize everything. It's super strange. It's can y'all stop thinking about other people in a really strange manner? Jeez,
Harry,
it's
would
weird.
you give Biden that Hawk to
a? I don't know. Would you get on your knees for Trump like you do every day? I mean, your profile picture is him. So.
Huh?
Your profile picture is Trump.
Okay. What about it?
It's kind of weird, don't you think?
Would you get on your knees for Joey B?
See, the fact that this is the only thing you can say. And by the way, to say that our conversation last time went well when this is how the conversation is going, I doubt it was a good one.
Okay, what do you want to talk about then? What do you want?
No. You've exercised your time. Get the hell out of here and don't come back. All right, if you're MAGA, let us know in the chat. We'll bring you up. Look at this guy saying, "Debate me, don't be scared." Oh, I can't even invite him because the box is full. That's such a shame. All right, let's put up this person. We're just throwing people in here now, ladies and gents. Make sure to drop a follow if you haven't already. Hello, are you MAGA?
No, I'm sorry. I just wanted to say thank you for educating the people. And you're very helpful for the upcoming debate. You're doing a very good job of educating us, and you're fine as fuck.
Hey, I appreciate you. Shout out. Yeah, hell yeah. Shout out you. I appreciate you. Thank you. That's very kind. Oh,
Bye.
thanks. All right, you have a great night.
You too.
Yeah. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Okay. Yeah, I can rock with that. No problems there. No problems there. Oh, by the way, Venmo Cash App in the link in bio if you want to support. I completely forgot about that. What do you want, bro? You MAGA? Hello, how old are you? Oh, you left. Okay. You left. Is anybody surprised? Not me. It's typical. All right, let's put up Sam. Make sure to drop a follow if you haven't already, everybody. Sam, hello.
Hey, Harry, how's your evening going?
I talked to you recently, huh? Like somewhat recently?
Yeah, it was like maybe a month ago.
Okay. Anything changed? You still MAGA?
I'm more MAGA than ever.
God, really? So you see like a prosecutor, like somebody who like stood up for the rule of law versus somebody who breaks the law, and you're like even more so supporting this guy, really?
No, I see a person that did not get elected by the Democratic.
Can you turn the sound off in the background by any chance?
I'm debating. I'm talking about. Sorry, bear with me. You brought up the fact that she's a prosecutor.
Is there like a TV on? What's going on here, brother?
No, there's no TV going on here.
There's a sound in the background, bro.
Oh, okay.
What the hell is going on? What the hell? Get this guy out of here. I won't do that. I promise. I won't kick him out.
I appreciate it. All right, we're good now.
Okay, beautiful.
So, thank you. A prosecutor. All right, let's go back to that comment.
Yeah.
We have a person that's highly intelligent on the Democratic side that was not elected.
What?
Harry, she was not the appointed Democratic nominee.
Hold on now. She was elected district attorney. She was elected attorney general. She was elected vice president. And she was also elected on the Joe Biden ticket. When Joe Biden was the top of the ticket, we all voted for her to be the vice president. All the Democratic members of the party were like, yeah, we want her to stay on the ticket. So in a sense, all the Democratic voters did vote for her.
Correct. In a theoretical way, she was, but not in a democratic way, because the assumption was that Joe Biden was top of the ticket, not Kamala Harris. And so let's be honest about it, Harry. You guys know that you need to win the Rust Belt in this election. It is critical.
Yeah.
Joe Biden's probably more favorable to win the Rust Belt. Andy Bashar is probably more favorable to win the Rust Belt. Pete Buttigieg is probably more. You guys are playing with fire right now by putting
I'm feeling
her.
pretty good. I'm feeling great. Over 100,000 new people registered to volunteer for her campaign. Over $130 million in donations. She's gaining rapidly on Trump in multiple polls. In some polls, she's actually leading Trump in all of these states. There was a poll from Fox News back in April of 2024 where it had Biden down 3 in Michigan. Now that same poll was conducted today. Kamala Harris and Trump are tied. The momentum is with her. I'm feeling great. I don't know if Joe Biden has more of a possibility to win the Rust Belt. I don't know. I'm looking at some of these numbers and I'm saying, well, damn, Kamala Harris has all of the momentum. Shout out our VP.
And maybe she might win the popular vote. I'm not saying that she wouldn't. But my concern is for the Democrats is it's really, and you know this too, it comes down to a few states: Wisconsin, Michigan, Ohio, Arizona, Nevada, and can she win those states? And, yeah, Pennsylvania. Thank you. And she has 104 days to put together a team and run a presidential election. She's never done that before. And I just want to add one thing here. Let's go back to when she ran 4 years ago. Okay. The proof is in the pudding here. She was one of the top of the ticket contenders. And then when it became time to debate, and there was things brought out about her prior history, about who she really was as a prosecutor, she went from 15% to 1%. She didn't get a single delegate, and she fell off, and no one really liked her. So
she didn't get a delegate because she dropped out before Iowa. She dropped out. She had the same chance of winning as a lot of other candidates. She just dropped out earlier than other people did. And then she became the vice president, and she got voted on the same ticket of Joe Biden and got 81 million votes. And now she's here. But Yeah, I think it doesn't matter if it's 104 days. We're already seeing a shift toward Kamala Harris. The energy is with her. The momentum is with her. And this is her pre-selecting a VP. This is her pre-convention. This is like some of these events, like picking a VP in a convention, give candidates a huge boost. So now she's tied with Donald Trump, leading him in some polls without this boost. And these boosts are upcoming. So I'm feeling great. And I think she has an amazing. And when you have Shapiro in Pennsylvania, possible VP, but he's campaigning for her there. Whitmer in Michigan campaigning for her in that state. Evers in Wisconsin, the governor campaigning for her in Wisconsin. I'm feeling fantastic. I'm feeling good.
Yeah, and you should feel good because she's a better candidate than Joe Biden. I'm not knocking Joe Biden's record. He's been in public service a long time. Look, I'm not going to sit here and attack someone that spent their whole life in public service, but sorry, I lost my train of thought here where I was going with this, but regardless, 104 days, it's a long journey for her to get there. The president just had a terrible assassination attempt. Yes, there's momentum, but it's because, I mean, all right, let me ask you this question then. Why did Obama take so long? Why did top Democrat leadership take so long to endorse her? This wasn't something that just immediate. Harry, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Let's talk through that.
Yeah, let's talk through it. Obama doesn't want to be a kingmaker. What that means is that he doesn't want to endorse a candidate, so then it's the expectation that she is automatically the candidate. And this has been historically the case with Obama. He didn't endorse in 2016, he didn't endorse in the primary in 2016. He didn't endorse in the primary in 2020 when Joe Biden, his former VP, was running. And he's not going to endorse now until it was 100% sure that she's a Democratic nominee. And then once she had all of the delegates necessary, the pledged delegates, then he endorsed. So Obama has never wanted to be a kingmaker in the sense that he and his endorsement gets to pick the nominee. He always stepped back and let the process take place. And then he let the process take place, and all of these delegates in these states voted to pledge their delegates to Kamala Harris, and then he endorses. This is in line with history.
Yeah, so let's talk about the process, right? So the process is we typically start in Iowa. That didn't happen this year. The process was we started in South Carolina because we knew that we wanted to get an immediate, we didn't want any competition. So when we talk about it's not about Obama not wanting to be a kingmaker. It's about Obama being hesitant because Obama's a very intelligent man, and he knows, and you all know, that this is going to be a tough fight. And you all know that it's going to be a very tough fight in the Midwest and the Rust Belt for her to win. So it's not about being a kingmaker, Harry. It's about being strategic. Let's be honest about it.
It's about not wanting to be. If he didn't do this in 2016, if he didn't do it in 2020, and he's not doing it now, it's because he doesn't want to be a kingmaker. That's why. And historically, Obama has done that exact same thing. We have complete and total confidence in Vice President Kamala Harris's ability. The data is showing that. I have no doubt that Kamala Harris is going to beat Donald Trump. The election's going to be close. It's not going to be a 40-state sweep at all. That's just how presidential elections work these days. They're always going to be close. It's going to come down to tens of thousands of votes in Pennsylvania, Michigan, Wisconsin, probably, unless the map is expanded. But I'm confident in Harris's ability. She has the energy, she has the momentum, she has the excitement, and she's a fantastic candidate. So I'm not worried about all that. And you can't, attack the Democrats on a democracy argument saying, oh, the delegates this, oh, the primary process was this, because your guy literally hates American democracy. So I'm good over here with the democracy-loving side versus over there with this guy. So
I don't see how you can use the democracy argument when there's nothing democratic about her nomination. She was not voted for. She's not been appointed. We don't even know if she's going to be the nominee.
She's going to be the nominee.
There's nothing democratic about this process at all. So
what's not democratic about like picking a candidate and then that candidate saying, you know what, I don't want it. And then everybody being like, okay, let's naturally go to the vice president. That's what a vice president is for, right? That if something happens to the president or the candidate, that in the sense that if they're in office, they would take over. And I think that it makes sense that in a primary process, that would be the case. This is someone who was voted on the ballot. Her name was on the ballot as well. And she's his vice president as he's serving in office right now. It makes sense that naturally she's the heir to that throne. So and look, You guys can have your own beef in your Republican Party, and you can say, "Oh, look at the Democrats over there doing it in this way." We're happy on our side. We're all happy with it, with Kamala Harris being the Democratic nominee. And again, I just think it's rich for Republicans to be preaching about, democracy.
Well, I don't. Why are we? I don't. Because you're a Democrat, I don't assume anything about you. Why do Republicans not support democracy? What does that mean?
Because you're voting for Trump. Like, if you're voting for someone who doesn't support democracy, then I don't think you support democracy.
But you're putting an umbrella over a whole group of people, and
Right.
just because you're a Republican, I mean, we have a choice between continuing to allow our borders to be unsecure. We have the choice to allow the world to continue to be unsafe. We have the choice to allow us to continue to print trillions of dollars, or we can go back to 4 years ago when people were money went further. There was choice. I mean, come on, Harry.
It's nonsense.
That's argument.
Everything you're saying right now is complete. Not only is it nonsense, but also what you're saying to me is that democracy does not matter enough to you. Like, those issues that you just listed matter more than our democracy, our functioning democracy, voting for who the candidate is and whatnot. And by the way, I can go down the list of things you just said, such as like border crossings being lower than they were when Joe Biden took office. Right now, they're down 54% in recent months. That's just the border, for example. What else did you say? Oh, you said there was choice back then. There's less choice for women now because of Donald Trump and his Supreme Court justices. And I think women, I keep saying this in videos, women are watching. Women are watching folks like you advocate for people who want to take women's reproductive rights away. We're watching people like J.D. Vance saying that if you're a Democrat and you're a woman and you disagree with Donald Trump, you're a miserable, childless cat lady and all this stuff. Women are watching. They're going to show up at the ballot box and they're going to smack you guys around. It's going to be great.
Harry, you're right about one thing. J.D. Vance was a terrible choice. Truly. I don't understand. I kind of do. I don't. I'm interested to see who, Kamala Harris will choose as her vice president. But I don't understand that pick there, so I will give you that. I have no issue with whatever a woman chooses to do with her body. I don't believe that.
Trump does.
I don't believe the federal government should define that. I think that's a state issue. But again, that's a whole different argument. But I think what's important to people, and what I think the substance that's missing from these types of conversations are, typically when I come on and listen to these dialogues, it feels a little scripted. We talk about the felonies, sexual abuser, all these things, but we don't.
Yeah, these are really serious.
Yeah, they are serious. No, I would completely agree with you that they are very serious issues. What also is very serious is the fact that we have a large group of Americans that can't afford $1,000 emergency. We have a lot of Americans who are just generally uninformed about what's going on in our democracy because our education system's not good. The world is not safe right now. We're looking at major issues in Ukraine, Israel, possibly Taiwan. Our jobs are being shipped out overseas because we're allowing bad trade deals. Harry, we just got to be honest about what, but this stuff is popular with the stuff that you're saying is popular with young voters because it gets them excited, they're resonated, it's something to talk about. But when you talk about the actual issues that are facing, most people, they care about survival, being able to take care of their children, being able to pay their bills, not, my God, I talked to Parker a couple of weeks ago. He couldn't even tell me what the average interest rate on a mortgage was. And it's just like, come on, let's be real. Let's have real conversations.
Wait. I agree. The policy matters. I think that two things can be true at once, that people care about character and people care about policy. Trump's character is obviously bad. He's like a horrible person, just human garbage. But even on the policy, everything you just mentioned, Kamala Harris and Joe Biden are better on. Shipping jobs overseas? No. Donald Trump outsourced more jobs than Barack Obama. So he is the shipper of jobs overseers. That didn't make any sense. But he ships a bunch of jobs overseas. That's Donald Trump's view. Yeah. And everything else you just mentioned in terms of inflation, interest rates, whatever that might be, Joe Biden and Kamala Harris, specifically Kamala Harris is the Democratic nominee, has more policy to address those things than Donald Trump. Trump hasn't put out a plan. He always talks about it. Trump hasn't put out a plan to address inflation, to address gas prices, to address housing prices, to do any of that stuff. Whereas Kamala Harris is saying, hey, I want to do X, Y, and Z, and gives like bullet points for each one. It's crazy.
Yeah, and I will say the one thing that was super disappointing about the last debate that I watched between President Biden and President Trump was you watched President Biden like just completely, I don't know what happened there. I know he's a very intelligent person, but something happened. I don't want to speculate. I won't go off my gut on what I feel like it is, but we'll say he had a bad debate, right? The difficult part for Republicans was Trump. Well, actually, it wasn't difficult, but it was maybe exciting for us. Is we saw a different tone of Trump. He was calm. He was quiet. He hit at the right moments, and so. He was calm, Harry. He was calm, and CNN actually ran a great debate. They paused everyone at the
low
correct
bar,
time.
isn't it? Like, isn't it crazy that for like your candidate, you're just like, oh, well, he was calm, so we're seeing a different side of him. Like, what? Come on, man. The bar is so low for Trump, and when he clears that bar once, which I don't even think he was calm, but he clears that bar, you're like, oh, well, we see a new Trump. He was just out there calling Kamala Harris laughing Kamala, calling Nancy Pelosi crazy Nancy. And then at a rally the other day, he said, I'm meant to be nice after my assassination attempt. And then he said, oh, I'm actually not going to be nice. Are you guys okay with me not being nice? The crowd cheers. He says, well, I'm not going to be nice. This is not a change guy. Donald Trump is who he is. He's never going to change. So we can have like lunatic who insults people with like these really childish insults. I'm sure you'd even concede that. Versus someone who's educated, experienced, smart, has a great record, and is passing common sense legislation. I feel like the choice is just so obvious. What the hell, man?
Okay, so let's go back to, you brought up the lunatic thing and that we would concede. And I think you would concede that you probably don't like Nancy Pelosi as much as you maybe.
I love Nancy Pelosi.
Why? She literally is the reason that Joe Biden, the guy that you spent the last year on the pulpit saying how great he is, which we both know that's not true. He may have been great at a time. He's not great right now, and it's not his fault.
Great.
He's just become older. He's not as polished as he used. He's 81 years old. My God. I mean, he's tired. Let the man.
No, he's so great. No, Joe Biden, I still think, I said this on Piers Morgan the other day, like if Joe Biden was still the nominee, I'd be happy and willing to support him and 100% behind him. So number one, Joe Biden is great. Number two, we have no confirmation as to what Nancy Pelosi did. But number three, that doesn't change Nancy Pelosi's record. I mean, she and her legacy, she has been probably up top, at least up there in the top five, maybe the greatest House Speaker ever. Her political instincts are remarkable, and what she's done has been fantastic. So Nancy Pelosi's great. I love Nancy Pelosi. That doesn't change.
She's a savvy businesswoman. She's a savvy congresswoman, but she bent Biden's arm, and you know that she said we can do this the easy way or we can do this the hard way. She was the one pulling the strings on him leaving. You know that, Harry. Be honest about it. You know that she played a large part in
we have
that.
no idea. There was a lot of reporting. There was also reporting the other day that Barack Obama doesn't like Kamala Harris, and then he came out and endorsed her. It's like, okay. So there's a lot of reporting as to what did or did not happen. What we know to be true and what's been confirmed by a number of sources is that this was not a decision made by Nancy Pelosi. This was a decision made by Biden himself. There's a great Politico article with a bunch of sources on what happened with Biden. And essentially what it was is that he was in Delaware. It was Saturday night. A bunch of his advisors and him were having a conversation about the internal data they had. He said, you know what? It's not looking good. I'm stepping aside. This was not a decision that Nancy Pelosi made. He made it with his advisors. His team didn't even know he made that decision until the next day. So nobody forced him out. Nancy Pelosi didn't force him out. He made this decision himself, and he bowed out. And he will go down as one of the greatest presidents in modern American history, if not the greatest. And he's passing the torch in an honorable way. I mean, by the way, I just want to point something out. That you're talking about Joe Biden's age, right? You're saying Joe Biden's so old, like he's old, he's an old guy. And I don't know, I was never of the view that he's a young NFL wide receiver by any stretch of the imagination, but you're saying he's old. What about this guy right here? The oldest presidential nominee in history? Are you holding the same view for Trump? Can we now flip the age argument on its head that now we have this young, energetic, active 59-year-old prosecutor versus this like decrepit, old, blabbering fool 78-year-old?
Okay, yeah. Let's go back to the. We'll hit both points together. So you said that Joe Biden made this decision by himself. That's not correct. Joe Biden's donors made that decision because they decided to stop giving him money. And that's why Kamala Harris raised $100 million the day after he dropped out.
That wasn't from the donors.
The other, correct, because they felt excited about having a candidate that they know could possibly win, which they know Joe Biden.
No, but it wasn't from the donors who were.
Go ahead. Sorry.
It wasn't from the donors who were saying things like that. That was exclusively grassroots. So that has nothing to do with like big money donors. That was people like average everyday Americans.
Okay. So you're saying that 100 million Americans donated $3 that day to Kamala Harris. Is that what you're arguing? Because that's what you just said. Or 33 million Americans donated $3 that day. Is that what you're saying? That the average?
I don't know where you're getting the $3 number from. No, not at all.
You said
what I'm saying is, I think they were around.
You said everyday Americans was a part of that 100 million. So if she raised 100 million, that would mean 33 million, maybe 20 million Americans donated $5. 33 million. How many Americans donated that day here? If it was average,
I think it was 888,000. I want to say maybe it was 880,000. I think it was around that number. And it wasn't just like 100 million Americans giving like $1 or something. Oh, one sec. It wasn't like a bunch of Americans giving like $1 or something. It was like Americans giving like $20, $30, $50, whatever it might be. Some people gave 250. Some people in the chat are talking about it. So that's what it was. That's what it means by grassroots. It's not big donors. It's not like, Elon Musk is doing for Trump, right?
Right. You said that Biden would be the best president ever in history or whatever. I've never
Modern
heard
American
of
history. That's right.
Modern American history. I've never heard of a one-term president being that. Just to me, that doesn't make sense. And then
he was that great.
I never heard of a president.
Wait, you like Lincoln though, right? Lincoln didn't have a full 2 terms. He got shot.
I wasn't alive when Lincoln. He's a great president.
Come on. Yeah, but you like Lincoln, obviously. I wasn't alive either. I can recognize he was a good president.
He's the best Republican president we've ever had.
Okay.
He saved the Union. He did a lot of progressive things that were great for the country. All right.
So, but then you also think that he's great, but he didn't serve a full 2 terms.
I don't think he had the choice to serve 2 full terms.
Well, yes, obviously he didn't have the choice. It wasn't his choice not to serve 2 terms.
Okay,
but my point is that there are plenty of great presidents out there who were 1 term, just like Joe Biden was. I mean,
right.
he's going to be a 1-term president, and he like genuinely one of the best, if not the best, president in modern American history. I'm sure you think that Trump was a great president, right? He was 1 term.
Of course.
I disagree. I think that's lunatic.
Well, he'll be 2 terms, but anyways, regardless
he's
of that,
not going to be.
I want to go back to the point earlier where you said that Joe Biden autonomously made this choice to drop out.
Yeah.
You all know that that's not true. You know that the Democrat leadership, it's ticket down. They don't want to have that's a liability. The majority of Americans right now, we're very polarized, are voting from the top of the ticket to bottom. And the Democratic leadership came to him and said, "Look, Joe, you're a liability from us top down. We don't want to lose House seats. We don't want to lose Senate seats, and that's why you guys put Kamala Harris up."
I want to say.
Yeah, go ahead, Chris. Sorry.
I just want to go back.
Article, man.
I just wanted to go back like 1 quick second, and then you're gonna keep talking. Yeah. So at least the first $50 million, that was 9 p.m. that same day. The first 46.7 million, at least, were all grassroots donations below $200 through Act Blue. And then she ended up at 81 million over the next day, and I believe those were that is all reported by Act Blue as small grassroots and under $200.
I think I donated as well to her then. I think I did.
I did too.
Well, if she raised $100 million and a million people donated,
I mean, yeah. So Trump the day after conviction raised like 50 million.
Yeah, I mean, anytime.
Yeah, you guys are about to get wiped. Oh my god.
Yeah, no, it's actually great. It's actually crazy. Yeah.
Jeez, man, oh man, golly.
I mean, we're not worried, man. Our guy's worth $4 to $8 billion. If he needs to pull,
and the crazy thing is, he's taking your money. This guy's a rich billionaire. He talks about how rich he is, and he's taking your money to fund his campaign. He's not even putting his money where his mouth is.
That's right.
I'm not sending him any money because I'm not really concerned. People are not. I don't know if he's got a ton of people sending him money because they're probably not as concerned that he's Money is used to help people win elections, and to be honest, I don't always know if raising the most money is the sign that someone's going to win. I don't know if there's data that shows
it actually by far is. The candidate who raises the most money almost always wins.
So who raised more money, Hillary or Trump, Chris?
I don't know, but maybe Trump. But I'm that
I don't think that's correct.
hey buddy, like there's things called outliers. I'm just telling you that like most
There's
of the time-
exceptions.
Hey, Chris, my name's Chris. I'm respectful to you and Harry. I've been respectful. My name's Sam. It's not Buddy. So let's just set that straight. Let's just have a respectful dialogue. I've been cool to everybody on this chat so far. Just let's be cool with each other.
Sam, how old
So
are you?
go
If you
ahead.
don't mind me asking.
How old am I?
Yep.
I'm 29 years old, or I'm 30 years old.
Okay. And you're voting for Trump, obviously.
Yes,
All right, perfect. So I'll be respectful if you could be respectful.
I've been respectful the whole time, but I haven't called anyone buddy. So my name's Sam.
All
Let's
right,
just start there.
Can I start
All
with
right, cool.
Can I start with one question, Sam?
Yeah, go
When
ahead.
Donald Trump says, "quote When you're this rich and famous, you can grab them by the blank. You don't even have to wait. You don't even have to ask." No. This is a very simple yes or no question. It's actually the bar is literally in the ground. So when he says you can grab them by the blank, you don't even have to ask. You don't even have to wait. Do you support that statement?
Do you support the fact
All
that
right.
Bill
So
Clinton?
congratulations, buddy. You no longer get my
Clinton-
respect. You no longer get my respect when you're gonna justify sexual abuse. So I'm gonna call you buddy. So buddy, why would you vote for somebody who's saying on audio that he supports sexually abusing women?
And Trump's the lunatic. You wouldn't even let me finish my thought. You're asking
Okay,
me
well,
a black.
I'm sorry. The bar. Hey, excuse me, pal, buddy. The bar is in the ground. There's really not anything else. When I say, hey, Sam, do you support the statement? I don't even wait to touch women. I touch them anyway. Your first response out of your goddamn mouth, especially if you're in public, should be no. There should never be a but after that. There should never be a I have to finish my statement. One goddamn word. No. So let's try again. Do you support that statement? This time I'll let you finish. Don't make a fool of yourself.
Chris, did you take your Prozac today? Are you okay?
No,
You're getting a little
it's very, very frustrating because these are human being lives. I don't think you understand that. But when there's dudes out there who feel entitled, they feel like they can go, touch women any type of way because people like you are voting for a man who was found liable of sexual abuse and brags about it. He's being interviewed by The Hill and he says, number one, I wouldn't do that because she's not my type. He's on audio bragging about how he's rich and famous so he can just grab them. That frustrates me because these are human lives at stake. I know you're like 8 years older than me and you have the maturity of a little child, but let's try again. It's so simple. Just say no. Do you support that statement? Yes or no?
I feel like I'm talking to Dean right now.
Nice. We're just continuing to make a fool of ourselves. So why else are we voting for Trump?
Well, I want to go back to your comment for a minute. You've been screaming the last 2 minutes. I haven't even gotten a word out.
Yeah, it's actually, it just takes one. Just no. You just started there.
Okay. So you're asking me if I support SA. Is that what you're asking me?
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I don't support SA.
So what do you
and
think
I think
about
it's really, Chris, can you let me finish my statement, please? You've interrupted me every single time.
Yeah, go
I
ahead.
came on this debate to have a conversation with Harry. I didn't realize that it was going to be tag team. 2 versus 1
I'm not
is fine.
saying anything.
Yeah, that's fine. 2 versus 1 is fine.
I'll mute my mic. You can talk to Harry alone. I don't care.
Yeah. But it's very rich for you to come up here and say that because you're 22 years old, correct? Mm-hmm. Did you vote in the Trump and Clinton election?
Nope.
No. Okay. So you don't even really have any substance to argue on this because
Wait.
your
I'm sorry.
your same people voted for Clinton, whose husband is a proven sexual abuser, lost his license to practice law, was fined for raping Paula Jones, and you have the audacity to
Sam,
sit
oh my God.
here
Sam.
and say the same thing to
Oh my
me.
God.
You got to be kidding me.
Go
He
ahead,
was
Harry.
impeached.
What were you going to say?
No. Go ahead.
No. I mean, first of all, two things.
ahead,
Number one,
go ahead.
the pivot there is crazy. I'm more than happy to talk about anything relating to anybody else. But the whole thing that there started that was me just saying like, hey, do you support this type of statement? And you wouldn't say no. So I got
Hey,
frustrated,
Chris,
right?
how about you be quiet? Because Harry and I were actually talking about policy and substance, not character
Okay,
attack.
so
I
okay,
didn't ask- I
perfect.
didn't
And
ask
because
about the
wait, so this goes to my second point. This goes to my second point, and then I'll let you talk to Harry. So I'm 22, and I was literally like 16, 15,
I don't
however
care
years
how
old.
old you are.
Yeah.
Your
So
age
Sam,
is not
no, you
relevant.
do actually. Hold on, you do care how old I am because you brought it up first, and you want to talk about substance. So name a single piece of Trump legislation he passed through his 4-year presidency. Go.
Yeah, absolutely. The repatriation, the tax, and I'm sorry, I'm so flustered right now because I'm. This is literally having a conversation that. All right, I'm gonna calm down. He had the taxes. Basically, he cut taxes for the rich, and he repatriated money overseas so that people could start manufacturing. I don't know the exact name of the bill. It was over 4 years ago. But
Okay,
it doesn't,
that's interesting because
y'all just hear him?
22-year. Yeah. So first of all, you're right. He did cut taxes for the rich. The 22-year-old who can't argue on substance and was 15, that would be called the Tax Cuts and Jobs Act. That would also be called the First Step Act, which was criminal justice reform. I don't even know what the last one you mentioned. Maybe you tried to mention the Chinese tariffs, which I guarantee I can go back and forth and you know nothing about. I'm more than happy to argue substance. Don't bring up my name, or I'm sorry, don't bring up my age, and don't tell me that because I was 22, I didn't know
You're
what was
the one
going
that
on.
brought up your age. I never said any. I don't. You asked me. Hold on, Chris. First, you asked me my age first. I don't care
Yeah.
how old you
Well,
are.
that's normal.
That
That's
is
normally
not
how.
relevant.
That's normally how I start. That's normally how. Well, in my life, I was just lying. That's
You
normally how.
can't, well, first off, you came on this live super aggressive, super heated. I was having an extremely respectful conversation with Harry, and then you start talking about.
I'm gonna let you. I'm gonna let you. I'm gonna
Sam.
Sam. I'm gonna let you speak to Harry.
I'd
Listen,
appreciate that.
That's great. I do lives too, and I have really good conversations with Trump and MAGA a lot of time. People actually say all the time that I'm too nice. That's what people tell me.
And they say that he's better than me.
I actually, he's better.
They say that he's better than me. That he's
Yeah,
nicer
they say
than
he's
me.
better
He's
than
like
me.
a
The
better
thing
person.
is, I tend to draw a line at such basic, fundamental shit. So when I just start a question of like, hey, Donald Trump says he doesn't wait to touch women and he can do whatever he wants. Do you support that? And such a unbelievably fucking stupid comment comes out of your mouth like, well, Donald Trump in context it's so unbelievably emotionally broken, morally bankrupt that it makes me angry. And I think that's reasonable. Anything else we talk about, I'll be more than kind. I think it's
Chris,
shitty.
I
I think
didn't
it's
even
shitty. I think it's
answer
shitty.
your
I think it's shitty that you would defend those type of statements because there's again human being lives at stake. That's it. It's
Chris,
very simple. The bar
Chris,
is in the ground.
Chris, when did I defend that? When did I ever say that I defend that?
Okay.
Give me a break.
I'm gonna let you go back to the conversation with Harry Truly. So we'll reset here. I'm gonna try to be respectful. I apologize for not being
appreciate that.
respectful. Let's go back. Sam, Donald Trump said, quote, when you're this rich and famous, you can grab him by the blank. You don't have to wait. You don't have to ask. He was interviewed by The Hill after being accused of sexual abuse and said, number one, I wouldn't do that because she's not my type. So those type of statements, like it's pretty disgusting that he made those statements, right?
Of course.
Cool.
Of course.
I could have said that earlier. So
course.
if those statements are gross, then why do you vote for him?
I can separate the fact that something is gross and realize that if I have two options that I don't like, I mean, let me ask you this, Harry. I mean, you're asking me this question, right?
Yeah.
But there was 78 million people that also voted for him. So what do you think about those people as well? Are they deplorable? Are they bad people because they
There's
voted
not
for
78
Trump?
million people that voted for Trump. But I think that if you're voting for Trump and you know about his past with the way he speaks about women, then it's tough to make the argument that you are a morally correct person.
So you're going to vote for Kamala Harris, who is a prosecutor,
Yep,
who
that's right.
put innocent African American people
What?
behind bars because of
What?
and laughed about it because of the war on drugs.
Yeah, no.
You're gonna
See-
tell me that I'm
wait,
morally
Sam,
corrupt.
You
Sam,
can't lie about our VP's record and then get away with it.
I'm gonna let-
prison for
That's not
unjust
true.
drug laws.
That's just not true.
It is true. It is
It
absolutely
is. It's
true.
actually not true.
I'm gonna let you guys. I'm gonna let you guys have it. No. I'm gonna let you guys have this conversation. But now it's Kamala Harris is her name.
It's Kamala.
Sam.
That's right. It's Kamala Harris. It's VP Kamala Harris as well. Yeah.
fine.
No.
We
The
can
black
call it VP
population.
Harris.
The black population in California prison during her time as attorney general stayed the exact same as a percentage. It actually went down by 0.1%. So I don't know what you're talking about, that she arrested and jailed all of these innocent African Americans when there's literally no data to back that up.
Yes, there is. And
Where's the
Tulsi Gabbard
data?
brought it up in the debate, and
Tulsi Gabbard's a liar and a fraud.
And she crashed. Kamala Harris crashed on her first.
Tulsi Gabbard is a liar and a fraud, and Tulsi Gabbard also lost badly, and now she lost so badly that she had to leave the Democratic Party and now does fundraisers for Donald Trump. So I don't know who the hell cares. If just Tulsi Gabbard lied, and you're like taking it as gospel.
I'm not. She is a veteran, and she is an American hero. She is not a fraud. She is willing to point at the Democrats and call out their bullshit like every person should. Republicans should do the same thing, just like we.
Hold on now. Tulsi Gabbard is absolutely a fraud, whether you like it or not. She's absolutely a fraud. She lied about Kamala Harris. And she didn't even win. She didn't even come close to winning.
She knows about Joe Biden's health history. She sat here and lied.
Kamala Harris.
She has sat here and lied about Joe Biden's health. And
the health that has been evaluated by doctors every single year and been declared fit to serve every single year. That same health. So is she in on it with the doctors now? Is that the conspiracy? Like all the doctors and Kamala Harris are conspiring?
If he's a healthy guy and he's so great, then why is he stepping down?
He wanted to keep running. He wanted to keep running.
Why is he not?
Did you watch his Oval Office address where he said, "I believe my achievements."
He looked like he was messed out of his head. That doesn't even look like Joe Biden.
What a fucking disgusting statement to make about a man who has dealt with a family members who've had addiction his entire life. That's a disgusting ass statement.
That's not what I meant, Harry. He did not.
No. It's come on.
Look at Harry. Just be all right. Maybe that was not politically correct to say it that way. And
it's not. No, it's not that it's not politically correct. It's completely insensitive to who Joe Biden is and the struggles he's had in his life. Did you watch his Oval Office address?
I'm not talking about his son. I've not brought up Hunter one time. I'm not talking about.
I just think that you should be. Also, by the way, you're like insulting his health. You're saying that he looks like this. I mean, it's ridiculous. Did you watch his Oval Office address or not?
I did. And that did not.
And you would have seen that Joe Biden said, quote, "I believe my achievements warrant a second term, but I am passing the torch." Joe Biden thought he wanted to run. He wanted to be the Democratic nominee. However, the polls were not looking great, right? His internal data, I don't know what the internal data was. It's in campaign data, but the internal data was not looking great. And he said, you know what? This election is not about me. America or democracy is not about me. So I'm looking at the data. It would be selfish for me to stay in. He chose not to, and he passed the torch to Kamala Harris, who automatically and already has given us a better chance to win. So that's why. It has nothing to do with his health. He said he would have kept going. He wanted to keep going. Has nothing to do with his health. It has everything to do with the numbers. Numbers don't lie. Numbers don't lie.
And that was the only thing that matters.
He was not rejected by his own party. He made the choice. He could have stayed the nominee. He could have stayed. The donations would have kept running in because people would have realized that he's the nominee and they have to beat Trump. That he would have been the nominee. He chose not to. I know that in the Republican Party, you're baffled by this decision of somebody willingly giving up power, Trump, something that Donald Trump would never do. But that's what Joe Biden did. He made that honorable decision. It had nothing to do with the party elite or his health or this or that. He's passing the torch. We now have the young candidate. You guys have the old candidate. That's it. It is what it is.
And I know that the old candidate versus the young candidate, again, we've had a conversation about age tonight, but 78 versus 81 looks very different on the stage. CNN said it. It was very clear.
Why is your guy dodging the debate now then, though? If he's so fit to serve, why won't he debate Kamala Harris?
Because she's not the nominee. We don't know if she will be the nominee.
Joe Biden wasn't either. Joe Biden wasn't the nominee when they debated.
He had enough. Yes, he was. He had enough pledge delegates that he.
So does Kamala Harris. So here's the thing. Trump is scared. When he and Joe Biden debated, Joe Biden had enough pledge delegates. He was not the official nominee. Now, Kamala Harris also has enough pledge delegates. She's also not officially a nominee, but somehow, suddenly, Donald Trump doesn't want to debate her. He is scared of her. He does not want to get on the debate stage with an experienced prosecutor who knows her way around an argument, and he knows that she will put him in this little box that he can't get out of, and she's going to compare and contrast her record with his. His record is being a felon and assaulting women and getting nothing done, and even as you conceded, taxing or cutting taxes for the wealthy. Her record is fighting for average hardworking Americans and working with the Biden administration to get things done for these folks. And he doesn't want that.
All right. Well, let's talk about that. So you're saying that President Trump is afraid to debate
Yep.
Vice President Harris.
That's exactly what I'm saying. Yep, that's right. He's terrified.
President Trump debated and won against Secretary Clinton, who was probably one of the most well.
Dude, there's no way you think that he won against Hillary Clinton. Are you kidding me? Oh, man.
Let's say that he didn't. Let's play your game. Let's say he didn't win.
Okay.
He beat her in the election, so obviously he won something. He won something.
He won,
so,
yeah. He won.
Wait, yeah, I do want to point out that like
you're telling me,
just quickly. I'm sorry, Sam. I'm gonna let you guys speak. I want to point out in terms of like debates. Yeah, I don't think that like ever have debates had much bearing on the election results. I mean, Reagan's somebody who objectively dominated in the electoral college and in his election, and his debate was one of the worst performances in history. In fact, he was on stage, blanked, forgot, like just stared, and everyone was like, "What are you trying to say?" And then he started talking about progress. There's some joke around this. He said some word that isn't
progressivity, I think it was.
or something. Some word that isn't actually a word. It's all anyone could talk about. That he was too old at the time. Blah blah. And he would go on to win and dominate. So, and I'm not saying that like. I mean, Joe Biden had a bad debate. I just want to point that out in terms of like who won the Hillary and Trump debate. But I'll let you guys keep talking.
No, Chris, actually, I agree. I'm glad you jumped in on that because, and I jokingly say this, but if debates, I'm sticking. I think about if Marianne Williamson had to debate Joe Biden right now, if debates were the actual indicator of someone in the Democratic Party would be the nominee, it'd probably be Marianne Williamson. And I say that jokingly, but the point that I was trying to make with Harry was that Donald Trump had to debate one of the most intelligent, tenured Secretary Clinton was. I believe that Secretary Clinton would probably be more difficult to debate than Vice President Harris, just based on her tenure in government and her understanding of foreign policy. And the point that I was trying to make, Harry, was that if Donald Trump can go out there and debate Secretary Clinton, I don't think that he's scared of debating Vice President Harris, and that's why I was saying that I don't think that Trump is afraid.
He's clearly terrified. I mean, first of all, he lost against Secretary Clinton. He lost against Biden in 2020,
He did not lose against Secretary Clinton.
He lost every single debate against Hillary Clinton. He lost every single debate in 2020 against Joe Biden, the two that they had. He lost those debates. It wasn't even close. And now Kamala Harris is the Democratic nominee, and he's refusing to get on the debate stage with her. I said this in a YouTube video, actually. There's two reasons why the Trump campaign doesn't want to do this. Number one, they know that Trump is scared and that Kamala Harris will dog walk him. But number two, the Trump campaign is bleeding. They're bleeding support. The last thing they want is Trump on a debate stage getting wiped by Kamala Harris in front of 50 million plus Americans, and that's why they don't want him on that debate stage. If they thought that debate was helpful for Trump and they actually cared about public discourse, they'd say, hell yeah, let's schedule the debate right now. If he was so confident. If you're confident, debate whoever. Chris and I are confident debaters, I think. We say we'll debate anybody, anytime, anywhere on this live, right? Anybody. Anybody's welcome. Absolutely. If Trump was confident, why not schedule it? Why not schedule? Just say I'm so confident I'll take on whoever the Democratic nominee is. It's going to be Kamala. But let's just say, I'll take on whoever the Democratic nominee is. But he won't.
Harry, President Trump just got shot in the face a week ago, and he's going back. No, hold on. Wait a minute. You were the one that you got on here, and you guys all did a live to make sure that you covered your ass because you didn't want to be sued or be
sued. What?
For him. Yeah, you know that you all came on here and pandered to that assassination attempt.
Sued for what?
You know what you would be sued for, Harry. You guys were on here talking about.
Wait, no, genuinely, what would any of us be sued for?
Yeah, your tweets about the Secret Service coming in.
Oh my god!
Oh my god! So we have read comprehension of a second grader.
You did that to save face, and I don't care. That's smart.
Wait, Sam, can I ask you a question? Sam.
This is nonsense.
Could the dissent from Justice Sotomayor said, which was
listen, Justice Sotomayor could not be sued for that because she's an appointed justice.
But you understand, Harry just repeated.
It is her job to interpret American law. It is not Harry's job to go on Twitter and say what he feels.
Oh, dude,
What?
Sam,
This
you're making a
makes
bad
no-
argument right now, man.
makes
This is a bad
no
argument
sense.
because
going back to
there's no case scenario of which the Supreme Court can write something and then a person saying it and repeating what their dissent was is automatically against the law. That's not a thing.
I'm not saying what you said was against the law. What I'm saying is that I want to go back to the argument that we were talking about. You said that
Because you
he
know
is
it's a bad
scared.
argument, but
Yeah, whatever. Your argument's bad too that he's afraid to debate Vice President Harry.
He is. He's afraid. Anyway.
Harry, he just got shot in the face. He's going back to the same place.
I don't know what him getting
He's
shot
not-
at has
he's
anything to
not-
do with his fear about Kamala Harris.
Donald Trump has been prosecuted. He's been attacked. His businesses have been pursued. He's not afraid of anything. He is literally, your guys' party has put this his family through hell because they know that they cannot
No,
be him.
he put his
He is
family
not-
through hell.
he is not-
No.
he is not
Stop this
afraid of
crap.
Kamala
Stop
Harris.
this crap.
So stop saying that.
Stop this crap.
That's
He
crazy.
put himself through hell. He put his family through hell. Nobody else made him commit business fraud. Nobody else made him assault a woman. Nobody else made him break the law. Nobody else forced him to steal classified documents. Nobody else forced him to try to overturn an election. He did. He did it. So to try to say,
Very-
it's the Democratic
you know what
Party
is so
for
funny
his
about this
conduct.
conversation?
I'm sure like Manson would like the same thing. Oh, it's those mean prosecutors who made his life hell. What a terrible Charles Manson. He didn't do anything wrong. It was the Democrats who did it. Come on, man. Accountability. Have some accountability. This has nothing to do with the Democrats. But point is, Trump is a narcissist in the sense that the last thing he said this at a rally recently. He hates being laughed at. That's what he said. I hate being laughed at.
Who
He
doesn't
knows.
like being laughed at? Do you like being laughed at?
I think
Does
people
anyone
he
like
can't
being
even laugh
laughed
at
at?
himself.
That doesn't make him a narcissist.
I think evidence of an emotionally mature person is someone who can laugh at themselves. Chris and I laugh at each other
Probably.
all the time on the phone. We're constantly laughing at ourselves.
Yeah, Sam.
But
Like Joe Biden.
one sec.
Sorry, go ahead.
Trump recently said at his rally, I hate being laughed at. So Trump knows deep down, and his campaign knows deep down, that if he were to get on the debate stage with Kamala Harris, that experienced prosecutor, she would embarrass him, and the entire country would be laughing at him. Now go ahead, Chris.
No, I was just gonna say, like, I think that, like, in terms of Trump being a narcissist, yeah. I mean, look, like, I can think of multiple examples off the top of my head where Joe Biden has either apologized, said I shouldn't have said that. He jokes about himself. He jokes about his age. He jokes about being 150 years old. I don't think right now I would challenge you off the top of your head to give me a time that you remember Trump apologizing during his presidency.
I'll give you 2 times that he's apologized, and I got kicked off Parker's Live the last time I did this. So I hope you guys don't kick me for this.
I know exactly what you're going to say, and it's bullshit. I already know. Go ahead.
No, it's not bullshit. He apologized. He apologized to his wife after the Hollywood tapes were revealed during his debate. Clintons.
Okay.
You asked? No, Chris. You asked me.
Wait. I was
Stop.
just gonna ask if that was public.
Yes, it was on a debate, and then he apologized for talking about Carly Fiona's face. So I hope I don't get kicked off this live.
Okay, well that's
for saying that.
Yeah, so I assume.
Oh my God.
So number one, I think that, like, again, when you have to, it is just zooming out. It is so crazy to have to defend your presidential nominee by saying, oh yeah, he apologized when the Hollywood tape was released of him bragging about sexually abusing a woman, and he had to apologize because he makes fun of people's looks and he's the presidential nominee. I mean, that's insane. But also number 2, I was kind of.
You asked me a question. I answered it.
I'm just saying, like, zooming out. I think this that's kind of a little bit, you know, like, it's kind of crazy. But I was just gonna say that yeah, like, I was hoping for more, like, kind of concrete examples, maybe around, like, a policy or something that went on, you know, during the White House. I mean, like, how about this? Like, Donald Trump, you know, said a hurricane was going to hit Alabama. The National Weather Service the next day said, just so everyone's safe, no, it's not. Here's where it's actually going to hit. And then he came up in a press conference with a big map of the hurricane and had drawn in Alabama with a Sharpie. I mean, this is a guy who is
He never apologized.
I mean, this is a guy determined to never say he was wrong. This is a guy who's been fact-checked over and over, probably told more lies than most presidents in history. and has been called out on it and refuses to.
I'm also not finding any time he apologized to Carly Fiorina or whatever her name was. He's saying, I mean, I'm looking at articles saying Trump defends his Fiorina face insult.
Yeah,
I'm not seeing any apology.
Yeah, I mean, I watched the debate 4 years ago. You're more than welcome to. That's not on me. You asked me a question, I answered it. It's
8 years ago.
Okay, whatever. Yeah, it was a long time ago.
So I don't know. Maybe your memory is a little bit fuzzy.
Well, maybe I got 1 out of 2 things right, but you asked me a question. It was yes or no.
I'm just saying. Do you agree that like Donald Trump? It seems like really like self-absorbed. Seems like he struggles to say when he's wrong.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not disagreeing with you that when he has a problem with that. But you mentioned earlier that we all kind of like laugh at ourselves. We all like to like internally joke. Trump has like one of the best senses of humor, and like even Democrats will admit that the guy like is really funny. And I'm sorry, but like that's part of his like brand is just like saying these outlandish things to get votes. Like that's part of his brand. He's a funny guy,
dude. Hold on again, zooming out. I mean, just what it like. And go ahead. I'll let you speak.
I'm sorry. Trump.
Trump
has a sense of humor. The guy who participates in playground insults, laughing Kamala.
Oh my Lord!
What?
I'm not talking about. See, this is what you guys do. You guys are
Oh my God.
Actually, you guys are masters of this. And I wish when I was 22 that I had TikTok so I could make the kind of money that you all do by twisting what you're trying to say.
I wish we made the money you think we make.
Whatever. Anyways, yeah. Whatever. So. Trump, I'm not talking about when Trump says something, a personal attack about the way someone looks. That's not funny. What I'm saying is that you can find clips on Trump on YouTube where he's made jokes in press conferences, which regardless of your political leanings, you would think it's funny. And I would hope that's a characteristic of a person that leads the nation is that they have a good
dude, you started that entire thing with Donald Trump makes fun of people, and I'm not talking about his personal insults, and then you followed it up with that's objectively someone who should lead the nation. How about we just not have a president where you have to defend the fact that he's like making fun of women and people on stages and bragging about sexual abuse? You've been defending that the whole time. Do you notice how like when Harry and I have real debates, like actual debates about Biden or Vice President Harris, like we debate on record and what they do for the country. You've had to spend this hold on. You've had to spend this entire time justifying to me a guy who's obviously making insults, somebody who struggles to apologize. We talked extensively about how he's bragged about sexual abuse, and I'm more than happy to go back and forth about policy. There's not much there. I'm just saying, like, again, zooming out, the bar is in the ground for President of the United States. There should never be a time for the leader of the free world for you to be like, yeah, I don't think when he insults other people it's funny, but like, he's a funny guy. That's fun. That's crazy.
Can you also like name a time Trump was funny? I've never seen Trump like be funny.
Yeah, actually I can. So there was a time when there was a press conference during COVID, and one of the people on his team next to Fauci said that she was feeling sick during the week, and he threw his hands up and walked off, and everybody in the room laughed about it. He has those ability to kind of have those quick, like, it's just anyone that's in leadership, like he just has this quick wit about him. I'm not saying that, again, you guys are the ones that are twisting this and making this weirder than it needs to be. I didn't say that him going out and attacking people the way that they look or whatever the bar that's set. I'm saying that
you actually literally started with, quote, when he attacks other people, it's not, when he makes personal insults, that's not funny. That was your exact quote. So you did talk about that. You started with that.
Yeah, but we're not. But what we're talking about is, does he have a sense? The question is, does Trump have a sense of humor? And I think you can separate the fact that he bullies people and that he could potentially have, those two things can both be true and be separate. And that's the argument that I'm making, Chris.
Yeah, I think he's an idiot. That's what I think.
I also think Trump's an idiot. Yeah.
That's fair, but you also don't have $4 to $8 billion. You've never ran several companies, and you've never been in executive leadership. So for you to say that Who are you to make?
Well, anybody can make some money with some
Sam,
fraud.
Number one, I hope.
Hey Sam, it's real easy to make money with fraud when you're committing a bunch of fraud like Trump did, and then being found liable, have to pay $500 million in business fines. Anybody can make money. I bet that if Chris and I participated in a bunch of business fraud and we got a bunch of money and like committed fraud in the stock market, we could also make a shit ton of cash. I bet we could.
Wait, real quick. So here, I won't, because I'm not like. Why don't you keep listing his achievements? Maybe we can like we can all pray for him too and stuff. If you want to talk about like, how about this? I won't say I haven't been in leadership. We'll talk about people who. How about people Trump handpicked, and we can see what they thought about Trump.
Yeah, let's talk about it.
Okay, beautiful. So let's go through. Let me pull this up here because I think it should be pretty good. Unfortunately, Twitter as a machine. X is just like the worst.
Can we please not talk about Mike Pence? I'm from Indiana. I'm not.
No. I'm actually lucky for you. Like he's the only president ever where like 40 of his 44 cabinet members aren't supporting him, and there's quite a few comments on that. So let's we can go through those real quick here. Let me pull them up.
All right. Let's do it.
Also, by the way, everybody, Venmo Cash up in the link in bio for me if you want to support. Chris is his username. And also, make sure to drop a follow if you haven't already. We do these lives all the time. Keep double tapping the screen. Let's try to get to 1 million likes. And, of course, follow Chris as well.
And double tap the screen if you haven't checked out his most recent YouTube video. Sure, it's link in bio. There's a link in the bio. And you go click it. I'm sure it's a beautiful video.
So beautiful.
It's the most beautiful. Somebody told
Chris,
us.
can I ask you? I've never watched a live of yours. I don't. And this is not an insult. I just want to know who I'm talking about. Can you tell me a little bit about yourself? Like what got you started on it? I'm just curious. I just don't know who you are. I'm just curious. I'm not trying to. Harry, why is what's wrong with me? Ask this guy about him.
Yes.
Thank you.
No. I can tell you that. I can tell you that 1 second. Let me just like
come on, bruh.
Let me just read this really quick. I know.
All right, we got to wrap up this debate. We got to move on to somebody else.
Yeah, we're going to move on to somebody else. I got to read this, Harry. I'm going to freak out. I think I'm freaking out. That's what I'm doing, dude. I lost my phone. I don't have another device, so I have to use this horrible machine right here.
It's a MacBook, by the way, that he's talking about.
I just can't, dude. I can't search for stuff I posted on Twitter. Really, it's like a thing.
You go to your Twitter account and scroll down.
Yeah, but it doesn't.
All right, you have 1 more minute to figure this out.
All right, give me like 30 seconds.
All right, while you do that, hold on. Let me thank some people. Kira, thank you for the $1. I appreciate you. Another $15. Thank you so much. Saying because you're back on live, we missed you and you did amazing on CNN. Thank you so much, Kara. I appreciate. Oh, you're so kind. Thank you, Kara. You're amazing. Yo, Thomas, thank you for the $2.
Okay, here we go.
I appreciate you. Matt, thank you for the $5 as well. Carla, thank you for the $20. Saying, Harry, I'm 63 and I've learned so much from you. Keep up the great work, Carla. Thank you so much. You're incredibly kind. I appreciate you being here. MB, thank you for the $10 as well. Saying, doing good work. I appreciate you. Royana, thank you for the $1. Saying, thank you for all that you do. Your support for this presidential election has been amazing and truly inspiring. Thank you so much for being here. And Trista, thank you for the $10 as well, saying I miss my beautiful TikTok husband. Very flattered. Alana, thank you for the $1, and I appreciate you. Go ahead, Chris.
All right, Sam, you ready? Yeah, everybody. Poor guy's gone. Poor guy disappeared.
Earlier, we set that boundary.
All right, so we'll talk about people who are experienced in politics. These are all handpicked by Trump. James Mattis, Donald Trump's former defense secretary, quote, Donald Trump is the first president in my lifetime who does not try to unite the American people, does not even pretend to try. Instead, he tries to divide us. We are witnessing the consequences of 3 years of his deliberate effort. We are witnessing the consequences of 3 years without mature leadership. Alyssa Griffin, Donald Trump's White House communications director, quote, fundamentally, a second Trump term could mean the end of American democracy as we know it, and I don't say that lightly. John Kelly, Donald Trump's former chief of staff, quote, he's a person who admires autocrats and murders dictators, has nothing but contempt for our democratic institutions, our Constitution, and the rule of law. Mark Esper, Donald Trump's former defense secretary, quote, there's no way I'll vote for Trump, but every day that Trump does something crazy, the door to voting for Biden opens a little more. That's where I'm at. He's a threat to democracy. Sarah Matthews, a former Trump aide, quote, the American people should listen to what these folks are saying because it should be alarming that the people that Trump hired to work for him a first term are saying he's unfit to serve for a second term. Quote, these are folks who saw him up close and personal and saw his leadership style. We didn't talk about Mike Pence. We didn't talk about General Mattis, who's somebody who constantly said that Donald Trump had no understanding of foreign policy. He needed more pictures and words in their daily military briefing because he didn't understand. And there's, like I said, 40 of his 44 previous cabinet members and his vice president not supporting him. So there's a lot more quotes, but you talk about his handpicked people. In fact, there was somebody on Sky News, like literally 3 or 4 days ago, who was a DOD official who's in multiple pictures shaking hands with Trump, who said he was the dumbest goddamn guy he ever met. He's being interviewed, and he said, I went to Trump. I got a phone call from Trump about the border, and Trump talked about building a moat around the 3,000-mile border with alligators in it. And he said this. He said he was laughing on mute. He was like, "I couldn't make it up. This is the dumbest fucking guy I ever met." And then Donald Trump publicly was like, "I never met this guy. He should go to jail." And then there's like 100 pictures of them shaking hands in the White House. So yeah, not me. These people who Donald Trump handpicked and are way more experienced in politics than me or Donald Trump. Beautiful.
Pretty damning, if you ask me.
Well, fellas, I always love a good 2 versus 1. I hope that you bring me up again on the next live. But I've had a great time talking this evening, and we'll see what happens in November. But I'd love to come back on the live again. I don't want to. We spent an hour together. It's been great, and appreciate everything. So I'll see you guys hopefully in a couple weeks.
Sam.
All right, Sam.
Yeah, we'll make it happen. All right, you have a good rest of your night. Okay.
Bye, guys.
Thanks, man.
See you, man.
Hold on now. Diana, thank you for the 20. Diana, thank you for the $20. I appreciate you on Cash App. Thank you so much. That's very kind. Arnold, thank you for the $10. Saying, can we please get some merch soon? I don't know about that one. I'm not sure if I can do that.
For prison shirt. Buy that.
Oh yeah, I'm going to start selling Harry Sisson for prison shirt. Aaron, thank you for the $5 as well, saying we need Kamala emojis. Yes, I'm going to do that for subscribers. Absolutely. Thank you for reminding me. Robert, thank you for the $4. Sadie, thank you for the $3, saying my first election will be a historic one. Sadie, get out there and vote. Make sure you're registered. Everybody go to vote.org. Make sure you're registered. And if you haven't yet, register to vote. That's amazing. Brenna, thank you for the $5 as well. I appreciate you.
Quick.
But no, go ahead.
I was going to say quickly, Ariacella, I really hope I'm pronouncing that right. Truly, I do. Let me know if I'm not. $5 on Cash App for good to see you again. It's great to see you. I appreciate you so much. If you're down there, I'd love to follow you. And it can be challenging sometimes, so you DM me. I appreciate you. Sam, I read yours earlier. I appreciate you so much. Kaylee, $20 on Cash App. I appreciate you so much. Hope this is you. I'd be happy to mod. Kaylee, I got you. You're beautiful. Thanks for always being so kind. You're beautiful. You're a beautiful person. Lastly, Mackenzie, thank you so much for $5 on Cash App for you're my safe person. Mackenzie, thanks for the kind comment. If you're down there, I'd love to make sure I'm following you, Mackenzie. Thank you so much. Truly, from the bottom of my heart, it goes a long way. And lastly, on Venmo, Gail, $6.66. Gail, it's so good to see you for calling Sam buddy. I got a little annoyed. What an interesting guy. Thank you, Gail. I appreciate it a lot. Renee, thank you for what you do. K8 from the DNC. Excuse me, $3.34. I appreciate you so much, K8. You're the best. Love to make sure I'm following you.
Kevin, are you there, buddy?
And Christine, $1. Again, Daisy, I'll DM you. But thank you guys so much. I don't take that for granted.
By the way, everybody,
neither Harry or I do.
I feel like the hoodie is applicable right now. You see,
dude,
it
that's
says shift
sick. What the fuck?
It says. Hold on now. It says shift of. Hold on now. It says shift of energy. I feel like we're feeling a shift.
I feel like we're feeling a shift of energy. I feel like we are.
I just feel like the hoodie's applicable right now, everybody. Ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, thank you guys so much. It's applicable.
No, it's applicable.
Stevie, thank you for $15. My TikTok little brothers. Yo, Stevie, Stevie in the chat goes a long way. Seriously,
all right, Kevin,
thank
buddy,
you so much.
Listen up, buddy. You MAGA or what?
Yeah, MAGA.
All right, why?
Because the country was just a lot better under Trump.
Okay, like how?
Prices were lower.
Okay, why were they lower?
Well, I don't know exactly why, but what you can go off of is.
All right, we're 5 questions in. Maybe that's a record, everybody. 5 questions in. We got that answer.
I've got a question for you, Harry.
Okay, if it's a dumb question, then I'm not going to answer it. Okay, go for it.
You know that video about like Kamala? You saying she's got to shift her energy.
Kamala.
Kamala
Harris.
Kamala.
It's either Kamala Harris or Vice President Harris.
Vice President Harris. you were bragging about her barely able to fill a high school gym. Was that not what it was?
Yeah, so I'm choosing not. I told you if your question was stupid, I'm not going to answer it. And your question was stupid, so I'm not answering it.
Wait,
It's
what
not
was
stupid,
that?
it's
Wait, what
facts.
was? I don't.
It's a pretty stupid question.
Wait, what was the? I don't understand.
And
I didn't hear
also-
it. I don't understand.
I don't.
you were being a
That's why it's stupid,
hypocrite.
Chris. It makes no sense.
How you were being a hypocrite. You were saying how they're scared because they're trying to what's the word? Hold up. They're trying to make Vice President like Harris what is that word?
Dude, what the hell is going on? Now he's muted.
How they're trying to impeach Harris, Vice President
Yeah.
Harris.
Yeah,
What were they trying to do to Trump his whole time in office?
because he did something wrong.
Harris did something wrong.
What did she do that's a high crime and misdemeanor?
She then held evidence. There's this guy on death row. She held evidence until she was forced to
no.
give it. Yes.
No.
Yes.
No. First of all, that has nothing to do with her being vice president.
That's still not right.
Well, first of all, that's not exactly what happened. Second of all, she was also called for that evidence, that DNA to be tested, and there's no evidence that guy's innocent.
So you still can't just withdraw. Like you can.
She said that the DNA should be tested. I don't know what to tell you. She's called for Gavin Newsom, the governor, to have the DNA tested. I think it was. I don't think it ever came up with the guy being innocent. So, second of all, that's her as attorney general. I don't know what that has to do with her being VP. She has to commit a high crime and misdemeanor as VP. So, can you tell me the high crime and misdemeanor she committed
No.
as VP?
no.
Okay, so maybe the
You're talking about
Republicans
stuff
should be
that
trying
Trump
to
said
impeach
before
her.
he was president.
What? No, he wasn't. Nobody tried to impeach him for that stuff.
Yes, huh?
What?
Yeah, Donald.
What-
No,
what-
no,
what?
the stuff Donald Trump was impeached for. He had a phone call with Ukraine where he was trying during his presidency, where he was trying to withhold aid in exchange for dirt on. I think Hunter.
Oh, actually,
Biden,
wait. People in the chat are right. The DNA was tested and he was proven guilty. Anyway, go ahead. Sorry.
Hunter Biden. That was his phone call with Ukraine was during his presidency. He was impeached for that, and then he was impeached for January 6th. So
He didn't do it. He can't control people. What do you do with James?
The border,
All right, well, then
the perimeter of the Capitol. Donald Trump finished. Oh, sorry. The perimeter of the Capitol was breached at 1 p.m. Donald Trump finished speaking at 1:10 p.m. Donald Trump arrived home at the White House at 1:18 p.m. and was immediately informed there was violence at the Capitol. There is then I think 164, 168. There's well over an hour, well over 2 hours, where Donald Trump is completely silent and says nothing as there is violence at the Capitol and police officers are being choked out and tased in the neck. And he says nothing. So why did he say nothing? Because at the very least, if he's saying nothing, that sounds like at minimum him not doing his fucking job. Do we agree?
What took Joe Biden so long to address the Trump?
Wait, hold on.
Attempt.
So number one, we pivoted, and I'm more than happy to talk about that. I'm just saying let's stay on topic for right now. So why, if Donald Trump did nothing wrong, he can't control people? I mean, you're president of the United States, and you see a bunch of your supporters literally there's multiple police officers who have PTSD from that, head injuries from that.
There's multiple officers who have PTSD from all the Black Lives.
So Kevin,
Race
again, I'm more than
riots.
happy. So we're pivoting, right? I'm more than happy to talk about that. But
No,
you started
I'm not
with
pivoting.
Donald Trump did nothing wrong on January 6th. So I'm asking you why there's well over 2 hours where he doesn't say anything, and we have testimony from his chief of staff that when we actually have pictures from the handwritten notes the aides tried to give him. Were tweets that he could send out where the aides were like, why doesn't he tweet this? It was like, everybody go home. He refused. His chief of staff testified he was the only one to see him during that time. He sat with him while Trump watched Fox News. They were chanting, hang Mike Pence. And they were watching Fox News. And his chief of staff testifies that he looked at Trump and said, sir, they're chanting to hang the vice president. And Donald Trump said something to the effect of, well, that's what happens when you when you try to steal an election. So sounds like he purposely didn't do anything.
Well, is this factual?
Yeah, I mean,
Yes.
his chief of staff testified to it under oath, and there's pictures of those notes. And also, even if you say it's not factual, I still don't understand why the president of the United States is not saying anything about a federal building being stormed for over 2 hours.
I don't know why.
There's like 100.
I don't know why
page report
the
on this.
president doesn't say anything for a while about another person getting assassinated.
Kevin,
not
again, you're
what?
Kevin, again, you're
Assassination.
pivoting. Kevin,
He
you're
gave a statement the same day. Sorry,
Yeah,
go ahead.
you're pivoting, and I think that like Joe
I
Biden.
can't.
No, Kevin. Joe. First of all, you're pivoting. Second of all, Joe Biden came out twice. He came out the first time and said that he'll have more to say later tonight when they get more information. That's called being a leader. He said, I'm not going to comment on what the motivation was. I called Donald Trump. I made sure he was okay. You know, Donald Trump was somebody who, when Nancy Pelosi's husband was beat over the head with a hammer and almost killed, he made fun of her. But Joe Biden immediately said, I called Trump. I made sure he's okay. I'm not going to speak on it any further because I need to know the facts. And this is a very tense time, and it's not good to assume things when I don't have the facts. And then he addressed the nation that evening.
Okay.
Yeah.
Talk about something else then. Now. Oh, I've got something else to say.
Okay.
You know how you always say that Trump did all these bad things? Well, you know what Biden
Yes.
did? Biden used to take showers with his 16-year-old.
Not true.
Dog.
Not true.
It is true.
Not true.
Look it up.
Nope. Yeah, no, that has never been verified. The contents of her
And-
diary has never been verified.
Also, since you're voting for Kamala Harris now, Kamala Harris now,
Kamala, yeah.
she said that people between 18 and 24 are stupid, and there's
So, okay, God damn it. I mean, this is insane. So, two things. The diary has never been verified. Number one, a bunch of people just put out a bunch of documents saying, oh, this is the diary, and then nobody knows if it's actually the diary. Number two, Kamala Harris is making the statement that 18 to 24-year-olds, I think that between that age range, are quite stupid. Like, we make mistakes. We're at this young point in our life where we're still trying to figure out what we want to do, who we are, and all that stuff. And we make mistakes doing it. We're still not fully developed. All that stuff is going on. And I think it's fair to say that, like, people between those ages are not as fully mature and experienced as maybe people who are older, right, in terms of life experience. So, I mean, do you disagree with that?
And really quickly, Kevin, and to people in the comments, because people are typing in, so she wrote a letter to the judge about the diary and how it was released. There's an original, like 120-page PDF of the entire diary, and not one time in that diary is the pages about his daughter. In fact, those pages about his daughter, they've never been seen with other pages. The page number will change, and I guarantee you cannot find that page of the diary without circles around it, because it's pretty well known at this point that that's just like a random page from 4chan. If you want to go see the original diary, that's supposedly the actual leak. It's like 140 pages. It was the first thing released, and it says nothing about that. And she actually released, part of her statement to the judge was, there's people making false claims about me that's really hurting my relationship with my family. So absolutely not true. Go ahead, Harry and Kevin. I'm sorry.
Hello, Harry. Vice President Harris. Harry, did you not do the same though when Trump said that he doesn't care about his voters? Did you not take that in context? Because
Did he what?
if you listen to the whole speech when Trump said that he does not care about his voters, did you listen to the whole speech or did you just listen to that part?
Well, he did. Did he say it or did he not say it?
Did Kamala Harris not say that 18 and 24-year-olds are dumb?
I mean, there's already fact checks on this talking about how it lacks context. I mean, just to be clear here, do you disagree that like 18 to 24-year-olds make a lot of mistakes and things like that? Like they're still trying to figure stuff out.
Yeah,
But that was like the entire purpose of Kamala Harris's speech.
Well, they're not stupid. You just don't call somebody.
I think that when she's saying it in a laughing way, I think she's obviously using that word as a joke, right? And if she's saying like, yeah, 18 to 24-year-olds make a bunch of mistakes and they're still learning who they are and trying to figure everything out, and stuff like that, then I don't think that's like, I think you trying to make it something that it's not as disingenuous. And also, I'm part of that demographic. Chris is as well. I think we would also concede that our peers can be stupid. Yeah.
Yes, but you didn't listen to Trump's full speech because he said that there's like emergency because there's a hot summer day, that there's emergency and there's water. So if you like have emergency, call somebody. And he's saying that he doesn't want people thinking that he doesn't care about his voters.
Yeah,
But
no, that's absolutely not the case at all.
Okay, play the speech right now.
Well, the burden of proof is on you, so it's on you to prove what you're saying.
Well, I don't have anything else. I just have my phone with me, so I can't play it.
So you can pull up. I have no idea what you just said, by the way, but also you can pull it up on your phone. You can swipe out at TikTok and go find it.
Yeah, but you won't be able to hear.
I know you can go find the like quote. You can go find like the transcript or something.
All right, give me a sec.
How you doing, Harry?
I'm fine.
Well, you, me, and Chris are going to have a great talk, my friend.
Okay. See if this guy can figure this out real quick.
Yeah.
Come on, Kevin. Come on, Kevin.
How you been doing, Harry?
I've been good, Don. I've been good. How about you, man?
Good. You remember me?
Yeah, of course I do.
Awesome.
You're the gentleman who offered a bunch of money to charity. It's great.
Now, $25K on St. Jude's on behalf of you, but
That's right.
I also wanted you, Chris, and Parker to have the podcast.
That's right. The podcast, right?
And I finally got the right name, but I don't think Parker talked to you or Chris, or you talked to either of them or anything.
Well, we might have discussed something. We've actually talked about that recently, so maybe it was connected to that. I don't know.
But I finally came up with
Kevin.
the right name.
Yeah. Kevin, buddy.
The three gold.
I don't know if he recognizes that he's muted. You know you're muted, buddy, right? All right, Kevin. You know what? I think we'll just call it there. This guy's like,
A sec.
all right, Don. What can we do for you, man?
Yeah, the name would be the three gold standards of debate. You, Chris, and Parker.
Yeah, I like that. I like that.
So when I first came on to you, I was on the fence,
Right.
and then you got me out the fence, and
Yes.
then some debaters and podcasters, whatever you call them, like you do, pissed me off and put me on the other side of the fence again.
What?
So I'm here for you to get me back on the right side for this reason, and I want you to be honest with me, you and Chris, when all along. You, Parker, Chris, basically Democrats said that Biden is fine. He has no cognitive issues, blah, 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 blah. And then he never had a cognitive test, blah, 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 blah. And then after the debate, all of a sudden a 360 happened.
It's a January 6th report. I bought it in book style.
And his own people wanted him out. And, now he's out. So first question, what is your thoughts on feeling he didn't have any cognitive issues, and then you witnessed it at the debate, and then Dems wanted him out? What's your feelings on that?
I don't think that it was cognitive issues at the debate at all. I think people have bad debates. He was sick. He had just traveled all around the world in different time zones. I think, like I said this to a family member recently. I remember taking an ACT in high school, and it was a practice ACT. And the day I was taking it, I had a fever. I was like coughing like every 5 seconds. And I was like incredibly sick. I got a terrible score on the exam. I just couldn't imagine like having a presidential debate while sick. I genuinely feel for Joe Biden. So I don't think it was anything like a cognitive issue. Additionally, he did have a cognitive exam. He had a neurological exam this year in 2024 in February, which you can find on the whitehouse.gov, by the way. The doctors who are...
I agree.
And they found that there was nothing wrong. And there was also Walter Reed doctors. It wasn't just like, one doctor that Joe Biden's buddy with, which even then it'd be fine. But Walter Reed doctors, who are independent of Biden's personal physician, came in, conducted these exams, found nothing wrong with him. Now, for me, I've never, ever been concerned about Joe Biden and his neurological ability, his mental ability, because I met him. I interviewed the president. And when I met him and I talked to him and I talked to him about policy and I talked to him off camera, he was fantastic. And, I think that people just have to realize that with President Biden, a lot of people on the right will take selectively edited clips of him and then circulate them on the internet to paint a narrative about him. And the last thing I'll say is just that imagine you yourself had a camera on you 24/7, anytime you were in the public, anytime, every single move you made was on camera.
You're going to make mistakes.
Exactly. And if you're speaking all the time, you're making speeches, you're speaking to people in the public, you're going like all around the country, you're bound to make mistakes. Now imagine that every single mistake you make is put into a compilation of videos and they're all together and then you play it in front of people. Of course, people are going to be like, oh, Don, like this guy's like incompetent, right? But no, you're just human. You make mistakes.
I agree.
That's the same with Joe Biden.
Well, I think that.
So why? Hold on, Chris. I'm sorry. So why did his own people basically force him to step down? Was that because he wouldn't stand a chance and Harris will?
Yeah, so that's pretty much what happened. There's actually a really great Politico article that details the decision leading up to Biden withdrawing. I would highly recommend you read it. That's what happened. His advisors huddled with him in Delaware on Saturday afternoon and evening, and they had a long meeting about the data, the internal data they have, if there is a path to victory. They looked at all the polls. Biden and his advisors didn't feel like there was a clear path to victory. And then by Sunday, Biden said, you know what? I'm not doing it. I'm not. The country and this Oval Office matters more than me, Joe Biden. So he made the honorable decision to bow out and pass the torch and give Kamala Harris a chance. It had nothing to do with his mental ability. This was a decision made by Joe Biden himself.
So how do you feel about that?
I mean, I'm sad. Like I love Joe Biden. I think Joe Biden is an amazing man. I think he's a good person. He's dedicated his life to public service, and I like always reflect on how, you know, Joe Biden, before he even got sworn into the Senate, had his wife and daughter killed in a car crash. So he was the single father going from Delaware to D.C. and back every day. It was just like a tragic point in his life, but he still got up every morning. He still put one foot in front of the other and served the people. That's so heartbreaking for me, but it also shows who Joe Biden is. So I'm sad about it, but I'm also like thankful for Joe Biden and appreciative of who he is, because he's seeing the data and he's saying, you know what, I'm not going to make this about myself. I'm going to make this about the country, and the data is not good for me. Let's see if somebody else can have a shot at it. So I'm sad, but I'm also appreciative.
I watched the interview with him and Howard Stern. Great interview. It gave me a whole new insight to him. You know, he's a remarkable man. Go ahead, Chris, and then I have my next question.
Yeah, sorry. I just want to point out like quickly to everything. Sorry, I just want to point out that I think the better question for me is like, yeah, I think that, you know, enough Democrats had concerns about his ability to win, and people were obviously concerned about like his ability to lead and if he was, you know, too old. And even if like, I think it's possible that even if I disagree with that, you know, if enough Democrats make their voices heard, Joe Biden looks at the data with his, you know, advisors and says, you know what, PR-wise, it doesn't matter. You know, this is not something, we're not really able to run a campaign through this. We're not able to unite Democrats. And I think that like, I think it's fair to ask questions on the back end of like, who was like being honest about this. I think that's valid, but in the right now context, it's unbelievable the difference of a man in a party having tough conversations about their nominee, people stepping up, elected officials saying this is not the person who's going to win it for us because we, you know, Democrats have values and morals and they want to, you know, achieve goals, as opposed to the other party who doesn't have any values and doesn't have any morals objectively as a party right now. It's purely what Donald Trump what Donald Trump wants when Donald Trump wants it. You know, they would be a party like J.D. Vance. J.D. Vance is his vice president and is on audio saying, you know, Donald Trump's in 2016, Donald Trump's America's Hitler. Donald Trump is someone I would never vote for. Quote, he's a bad man and an even worse candidate. And again, like that's a party that has given up all of that, would never, you know, as someone they were always ran on being hard on crime, and now he's a convicted felon. So I think that's really like the contrast that should be focused on now. But I think like those questions are fair.
Yeah. Who's that heavyset guy with the glasses that hated Trump and now says when it comes time to vote, he will vote for Trump? You know what I'm talking about? You're not. Oh, no. Big heavy guy with glasses. He used to be like Trump's close partner, and then they kind of went.
Bill Barr.
Oh, Bill Barr.
Yes. Now he says he's going to vote for Trump. Why won't he vote for Ms. Harris?
Because he's a political hack.
Yeah, I think that like again, I think that Don, I think that like goes to like thinking about the quotes from J.D. Vance. Nikki Haley is someone who said she would never vote for Trump, and she was at the RNC debate or RNC, you know, the convention saying she'd vote for him. You literally do not have a place in this party. You will be shunned out if you don't step in line. You know, if J.D. Vance wants a job in politics, he needs to bow to Trump. If you look at a lot of these people, like a lot of the people I'm referring to, they're Twitter banners. Like if you go on Twitter, their banner is a picture of them and Trump. If they've never met Trump, it's a picture of them and green screen Trump. It's I was endorsed by Trump. And privately, so many of them we know, or publicly, have previously said, I hate this guy. I despise this guy. Tucker Carlson in 2020, we have subpoenaed text messages. Quote, I despise Trump. I can't wait. We're so close to stopping talking about him every single day. I truly cannot wait. And now they are all so excited to vote for Trump because you don't have a place on the right politically if you don't bend the knee to him. You don't. It just doesn't exist.
And Bill Barr is also like a Trump stooge, by the way. But anyway.
Good answer. Next question. Did you hear or see the interview with the gal that got the cash from Trump, who was on Bill Maher's show, and he played a tape of her, and he asked her, first question he asked her was why basically he screwed her, and he laughed and she laughed and said, well, I wasn't forced, I wasn't raped, I wasn't this.
That's Stormy Daniels?
That. Yeah, and then it cuts back to Bill Maher saying, well, that's not what she's saying today. You know, she's saying this, this, and this now. Do you know what the deal is on that whole mess?
I honestly, like, I'm not sure the context of the conversation, so I can't speak on it. I didn't watch that Bill Maher episode.
Well, check it out sometime on YouTube. He interviewed her in 2016 and asked her why she banged Trump, and they both laughed. Then she said he didn't abuse her, he didn't rape her, he wasn't this, he wasn't that. It was just what it was. But then years later, she's in court saying that she was raped and blah, 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 blah.
No. Stormy Daniels has never claimed that she was assaulted. I think you're confusing two people. You're confusing Stormy Daniels with E. Jean Carroll. E. Jean Carroll is the woman who won a case against Donald Trump for sexually abusing her in civil court. And Stormy Daniels is the adult actress that Trump had an affair with. And she was in court for his criminal case, which surrounded hush money payments to her. So they're two different women.
Okay, next question. Do you think that Harris will be replaced before the convention?
No, she's a Democratic nominee.
You're 100% sure of that?
100%. I would bet money. You know, if I had to bet money on who the Democratic nominee is, I would bet like my entire life savings on Kamala Harris.
Yeah, because CNN named 3 other possibilities that could most likely take over her, and like she's booted out, you know what I mean?
They're just simply doing that, I think, for just to be informative. Like, it is theoretically possible that Kamala Harris tomorrow is like, you know what, I actually don't really want to do this whole politics thing anymore, and she just drops.
She would never do that.
But what was that?
She would never do that.
Exactly. So that's why she's going to be the Democratic nominee. But it is theoretically possible that could take place, and it's theoretically possible that somebody else would take over. But it's not going to happen. It's Kamala Harris. She's a Democratic nominee, you know?
Okay, I heard on one of these debate things from a very intelligent African-American gentleman. I can't remember his name, but he literally came out and said that Harris is a racist because she's a Broman. I don't know what a Broman is.
I don't know what that is either.
If you're black, you should not be here. She's on tape saying that. You'd have to look up what a Broman is. I know it's something bad.
I don't think that's true. I don't think she's on tape saying that.
Well, that's what he says, but
I probably wouldn't believe him. If he's saying that Kamala Harris is on tape saying that, that's obviously not the case. I mean, she herself is a person of color. So.
Yeah. Now, next question. Do you think? I also heard that she had someone in prison that she knew was innocent, but wasn't willing to let him off death row.
No, so essentially that's like a whole DNA controversy. People were saying that Kamala Harris blocked DNA testing. She has called for DNA testing. She did a while back, saying that the DNA should be tested in the case. She called for Gavin Newsom to do it. There was an extensive report done in 2021 that found that it's overwhelmingly likely that this guy is guilty. He's the perpetrator. He was charged and convicted with a bunch of murders. No, this guy did it. He wasn't innocent. It wasn't anything like that.
Okay, last question, you guys. Do you think? What do you think of the assassination attempt?
I think it's terrible. I think it's awful. I'm like, my heart breaks for the man who lost his life while trying to protect his family. And of course, I'm glad that Donald Trump is okay. It's like, political violence, no matter who it is never okay. And I'm truly, like, from the bottom of my heart, thankful that Donald Trump is okay.
So how do they not see a shooter on the best site to shoot from on a roof?
It's a great question, man.
That is a good question. That, like,
you think it's because they didn't care?
No. I think the Secret Service is great. I think there's a lot these are people who have dedicated their lives to protecting folks. So I think the Secret Service is great. I think it was just like this crazy sequence of events that led to this. You know what I mean? I don't know. I think the Secret Service cares. I wouldn't go there. I just think that some people messed up, you know?
Okay, here's the last thing I'll say. When I'm 64 years old, okay?
Yeah.
The reason I'm solving the funny is because I have my top dentures out right now for the night. But
couldn't tell.
Well, I'm sure you could, but you're just being kind. But
no, I'm serious.
So my father passed away on June 14th, okay?
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that.
And I would have been working till 67, but he was VP of Honeywell, and he did very well. Long story short, I have 4 siblings, a twin sister and 3 brothers. He left each of us after taxes $5,383,000. So I'm serious when I say I want to take you and Chris and Parker, and I want to get a podcast going called the 3 gold standards of debate. And no, I'm serious, and I think it would.
I appreciate that, man.
And I'd like to pay you each about $2 a year, and I think it could end up on Sirius XM and become a huge thing. So I really seriously want you 3 to discuss it, and if there's any inkling as to maybe checking further into it, then I'm on Facebook. Send me a message, and I'll be glad to talk about it more. Okay.
Well, Don, hey, man, first of all, I want to say I'm sorry to hear about your father. That's truly really sad. I hope you're doing okay. But second of all, that's incredibly kind. Like, yeah, let me and Chris and Parker huddle about this. There's a lot going on right now in politics, so we're just like, there's just so much going on.
Well,
so we're going to huddle about this, but that's incredibly kind.
About it, though.
Yeah, because, absolutely. Yes, sir. Absolutely.
Yeah, Don, I'll second that by saying, like, I appreciate you coming up here, being respectful, and I'm also very sorry about your father.
Thank you. But I really think it could be more huge than you guys even realize. And I'm never wrong when it comes to.
That's right.
That's right, sir. I like exactly.
And you're never wrong.
That's why you're voting for Kamala Harris.
I was about to say that.
Yeah, Harris has my vote. But you guys have a great night.
W in the chat for Don.
And
thank you, Don. Hey.
Seriously think about it and get it. Message me if you're interested.
Right, yes, sir. Well, hey, Don, thank you so much, man.
Sean.
Thanks for coming up. We always have good conversation. You have a good rest of your night, all right, Don?
You too. You guys take care. Bye-bye.
Be safe, man.
Thanks, Don. Appreciate it, man.
What a great individual. What a great guy.
Yeah, I talked to Don before, man. We talked a while ago, and he's a good guy.
Yeah, that's what I heard. That's what they're saying.
Yeah, what's up, Katie? Thanks for the $5. I appreciate you. Caleb, thank you for the 2 cents as well.
What was that?
Bro. Lynn, thank you for the $5 as well. I appreciate that, Lynn. Thank you so much. Saying, Harry, can you share this cool way for people to get involved in called Postcards for Swing States? They send you postcards and give you a list of registered voters. You write them cards and mail them. There you go. I didn't even know about that. That's awesome. Wait, Michelle, thank you for the $25. I appreciate you on Venmo. That's incredibly kind. Stevie, thank you for the $15 saying for my TikTok brothers. Well, thank you, Stevie. I appreciate you. Killer, thank you for the $1 as well. Sent you combo photos you should use for subs. That's a good idea. Thank you, Killer. Lisa, thank you for the $5 saying for putting up with blanks all day. I appreciate you, Lisa. It's a ASSHOLES. Jessica, thank you for the $10 as well, saying showing up and showing out for democracy. Hell yeah, Jessica, I appreciate you. Joshua, thank you for the $6. And James, thank you for the $5 saying, where's Chris's Venmo? Chris's Venmo is exactly the same as his TikTok username. So if you want to help out Chris and send and say you support his work, it's Christy Mowry on Venmo Cash App.
I appreciate that. Real quick, Stevie, thank you again for $15 as well. I appreciate that so much. Truly, TikTok brothers. That's right, Stevie. That's what they're saying. Clarissa, great job. Please continue to correct how they pronounce Kamala. Their microaggressions are very annoying. $10 on Venmo, Clarissa. I appreciate you so much. Yeah, I'm like, it's like a one-time thing. I sort of get it, but after that, I really have had some conversations around like the misogyny and racism around that. Like, come on, yeah, it's very simple. Like, and it's
and Trump, Trump said at a rally recently, he's like, yeah, I don't care how many times I mispronounce her name. I'll call her whatever I want. I'm like,
it's so
dude, you're such a piece of trash.
Yeah, it's so gross. I literally
Such
made a
piece
video
of
the
trash.
other day where I was like, if one of these, if like a MAGA dude came up and I called Donald Trump Donald Frump, they'd fucking they'd start crying.
They'd freak out, dude.
They'd freak the fuck out. It's unbelievable. Jessica, always bringing the facts and mostly keeping your cool while doing it. $10 on Venmo. I appreciate you so much, Jessica. Anyone I mentioned, I'd love to make sure I'm following you. I appreciate you. You can always DM me. And I'm going to mispronounce this. I am. But I love you and I want to make sure I'm following you. Kenichi, maybe? Thank you so much for 25.
You can't pronounce anything, dude. It's crazy.
I'm not good at reading, I'll tell you that. $25 on Venmo. One of the best professional dog walkers. Hashtag Harris for president. Listen, can I get 25?
Hey, what's up?
Real quick, can I get 25 Harris for presidents in the chat? Go ahead, spam Harris for president. I believe it's Kenichi. I appreciate you so much. You're the best. You rock. And if you're down there, I really want to make sure I'm following you. I'm really sorry if I mispronounced that, but I love you truly, and I don't take that for granted. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Harris for president. That's right. Appreciate you guys. All right, double tap the screen. We'll get Harry up to like 1.5 mil, maybe. I appreciate you guys so much. And
Chris, do me a favor. Can you check your Twitter DMs right now?
Yeah, I can.
What's going on, guys?
I'm looking for people in the comments as well to follow. So thank you guys so much, truly.
What's up, Rick? Are you MAGA?
Yeah, I'm leaning on that side. I had a couple questions for you guys, though. I just want to pick your brain.
Okay, what's up, man?
All right, so my first question would be, I'm going to state the obvious. I know you guys hear this a lot, but why do you think Trump would be running? He's a billionaire. He could retire. I mean, why would he run?
Prison.
Huh?
Prison. He's running to keep himself out of prison.
I mean, he was running before that, too. And he was
but now he's running. Now he's running especially for this reason. He's running to keep himself out of prison.
That's insane, Harry.
Yeah.
Why would he run before that, though, to be president?
I don't know why he ran in 2016. Probably. I mean, there's reporting that it was to elevate the Trump brand because he has like the Trump hotels, all that stuff. And then in 2020 he ran because he's the incumbent. You know, typically incumbents run for re-election. And then now he's running to keep himself out of prison. That's right, because he's facing over 700 years in prison, so he probably doesn't want to do that.
I'm listening to both sides. I'm not hating on nobody, but I'm just asking questions. I
also just think like he's a narcissist. I think he likes power. So
okay, I mean I can respect that, but all right, here's another question. Who do you think's doing better at the border? Like, do you guys think it's right to keep our border open?
Our border's not open.
I mean, there's been more illegal immigrants coming in through Biden than there was any other president.
So most of the numbers you're seeing are apprehensions of the border. They're not actually people coming in, and apprehensions does not it doesn't like indicate whether they did come in or not. Most people, or the majority, are actually rejected and sent back. So if you see like 8 million, like 8 million people did not come into the country. That's just encounters at the border. Number one. Number two, border crossings right now are lower than when they were in 2019 under Donald Trump's presidency. Border crossings have gone down 54% in recent months. And Joe Biden has put forward a number of immigration bills, I should say. And all the Republicans have rejected every single one of them. So Joe Biden's like tried to solve the problem, and Republicans said, no, we're not going to do it. Even a Republican congressman said, his name is Troy Nehls, he's from Texas. He said he won't work with Joe Biden on immigration policy because it would boost him in the polls. At some point, we have to be honest about this, that it's not Joe Biden's fault. It has nothing to do with him. It has everything to do with the fact that Republicans are blocking that policy.
All right. That's interesting. I mean, I'm like I said, I'm in between right now. So, why are they? I mean, our government's giving out more money to immigrants right now than they are our vets.
It's not true. It's not true.
I mean, that was a poll that came out. I did see that.
No, it's not.
I don't know if I was seeing the wrong thing, but that's a fact from what I see.
No, that's objectively not true.
Can I get a W in the chat for Caitlin? $50 on Venmo. W, it goes such a long way. Like, I don't take that for granted. Thank you so much for educating us. I appreciate how calm and kind to guests, way better than I've been seeing from other hosts lately. Yo, Caitlin, thank you so much. Big W's in the chat. I appreciate you so much. Thank you.
Big Dog Savage.
That means a lot. If you're down there, I want to make sure I'm following you. Thank you.
But I mean, what do you think about? I mean, are you happy about the fact that Biden dropped out? I mean, that's something I think I want to touch base with you guys on.
I am, as I said to the previous guest or a couple of guests before you, I am saddened but also appreciative of Joe Biden and his decision to drop out. I love Joe Biden. I care about him. I think he's a great president, probably the best in modern American history. But simultaneously, I'm appreciative of him like putting the country before himself, making that really tough decision, something you don't see in American politics often. So that's my view on it.
And you're saying that it's because he wants it to go to the younger generation?
I think it's a combination of things. I think it's, he wants it to go to the younger generation. I think it's because poll numbers are not looking good. I think it's like, I don't think it's just one individual thing. I think it's a culmination of things.
All right. I respect that. So what's your take on Kamala? She was a district attorney. And yep. I mean, she put a lot of people away for smoking the Mary Jane, and she admitted to doing it herself.
No, she actually, during her...
Caitlin, thank you again so much for that. Don't take that for granted. Thank you so much.
During her tenure, there was only around 1,900 people as attorney general over like 5 years that went to prison for drug-related crimes. And it's not only just with the M drug, it's for others like hash and stuff like that. So yeah, so it's only around 1,900 people. And also those are not attorney general cases. Those are mostly local jurisdiction cases where a local DA in some place in California that might be more conservative cracked down on it more than maybe somebody in like Los Angeles did. And the attorney general doesn't have control over literally every single case that happens in the state of California. There's a lot of independence between the attorney general's office and these local DA's office. So she can't say like, oh, go to every jurisdiction and be like, oh, you can prosecute this crime, you can't prosecute this one. She has to follow the law as it's written in the state of California, and the law in the state of California, says that she, number one, can't interfere in these cases, but number two, those crimes were still crimes when she was attorney general.
But she did admit to putting people away for that. I mean, and she did it herself.
She's not doing that though. I don't think she admitted to that because you'd have to show me the clip.
She did. I'm 100%, and I'm not ever a factual guy, but she did admit to doing that.
I mean, I don't. But again, like it's not the attorney general prosecuting these cases.
Yeah, well, she passed.
She was attorney general.
She put the stamp on it. So that's. I mean, I'm like I said, I'm playing the lesser of two evils here.
I know, but you have to understand that the attorney general is not putting the stamp on every single case that takes place in a state.
Not every single one. She has put the stamps on that, and she's done it herself. So I mean,
you'd have to show me a specific case where she did that. But also, it's important to remember that she is not a legislator. Like she was attorney general, she is not the governor. The governor has far more jurisdiction when it comes to these stuff. Like the governor could pardon somebody. She's the attorney general. So whether she likes the law or not, she just has to follow said law and enforce it as it's written. She can't say like, well, I interpret the state of California's law as something else. That's not her job. She's attorney general.
No, I hear you. I hear you there. And I think my other thing I wanted to say was like, I mean, I understand that you're saying that Trump wanted to build his brand, but he literally had to take $1 every year, I think is what it was. But he didn't take anything from that salary. I mean, he doesn't seem like, I don't know, he doesn't seem like he didn't seem like he was doing a bad job to me. I mean, he was treating everybody fairly.
Pretty terrible job. I don't know, like mishandling a pandemic. First of all, hello, Law of the Wild. Mishandling a pandemic and all that stuff. I think that's a pretty bad job. He also didn't do anything as president. I mean,
the Democrats were voting to shut stuff down. Like, I mean, they were voting on the majority of the worst things.
I don't know what that means. The Democrats are voting on shutting stuff down. A lot of these shutdown decisions were made by individual businesses. There were certainly like guidance from different cities and things like that. But those were like I'd say very necessary. Like in a state, like in a city like New York City, for example, that's very densely populated. Of course, there has to be more social distancing guidelines and health guidelines in a city like that versus some rural place in Alabama, right? So anyway.
Real quick, Matt, thank you so much for $5 on Venmo. Thank you for everything you do. Keep up the great work. Harris 2024. I'm the Matt with the cat picture on TikTok. I'm looking for you in the comments. Try to follow. If I miss you, you can Venmo me. It truly goes a long way, Matt. Thank you so much. Adam, $5. Hey, man, love the live. I have a decent following and people want us to debate. Would love to hop in. Adam, Donsha?
Yeah, you can't read, bro. It's terrible.
Adam, maybe coming. Maybe we'll let you up. I appreciate you for $5. Thanks for the kind words. James, $15 on Venmo. As a fellow Gen Z, you and Harry are such an inspiration. I hope to be able to do this and get involved with politics. Thank you for setting them straight. Well, listen, to everybody, including James, thank you so much. That goes an incredibly long way. All love. Truly. And James, dude, thank you. And I was somebody who literally wasn't doing well in school at Kennesaw State University. Couldn't really find my path. Was always passionate about politics, and then randomly set down my phone one day in my car and started screaming like I used to do on a private Instagram of 500 people. And now I'm here. However, you are special. You have a voice. Use it. Do whatever you want, and I'll be supporting you. I'm proud of you, James. I appreciate you a lot, truly, for the support.
Hold on, I'm about to let my dog out.
Bro.
Yo, Charlotte, thank you for the $5 on Venmo. I'm very kind. Jennifer, thank you for the $25 as well, saying thank you for your hard work. Jennifer, thank you for your hard work. I know you're doing some good stuff individually with your friends, family, and loved ones, trying to convince them to vote for Kamala Harris. It's amazing. So thank you, Jennifer. Brendan, thank you for the $3 as well, saying thank you for your information. Brendan, thank you for being here, man. It means a lot. Noreen, thank you for the $30. On Cash App, saying answer the call Monday night. It made $8.5 million. Yeah, the answer the call for Kamala Harris has been insane. I don't know if you guys have been following the story, but a bunch of different groups of people have been like hopping on Zoom calls and like fundraising for Kamala Harris. And
so like I got a few like really questions as well.
Justin, 1 second. I'm sorry, Noreen, $30 as well for answer the call Monday night. 8.5 million. W's Noreen in the chat. Thank you for supporting both of us, truly, and it's great to see you. It's fantastic. I'm gonna keep at it. I truly appreciate it so much.
Yeah, you guys are great.
W's in the chat.
Venmo, Cash App. Wait, actually, Venmo, Cash App in the link in bio for me. I think Law in the Wild. Is your Venmo, Cash App in your link in bio or what? What do we got there?
Yeah, I've got like a link tree set up, so you can find them there.
I would recommend. By the way, if you're choosing between like me and Law of the Wild who to donate on Venmo, Cash App, go to Law of the Wild. He uses that money for clients in the state of he's practicing law, and he's a public defender, so he does a lot of that good stuff. I would highly recommend if you're going to do like a Venmo, Cash App thing, do it for Law of the Wild. He's great. And then Chris is his same TikTok username.
I agree with what Harry just said. I think you should transition to Law of the Wild. If you're looking to support us, Law of the Wild's a great guy, really helpful with a lot of information, killer dude up here. So go click his link tree.
I appreciate it. I've got a video of somebody who your supporters, Harry, were able to help out. A unhoused woman who had no money, no transportation, and purely just from the donations from people from your live, they were able to help out. We were able to help her out.
Incredible! So. Holy
yeah!
Shit.
All right, bro. So everybody like Venmo, Cash App, Law of the Wild. It goes directly to these people.
So
that's a good investment.
So what I've committed to doing is all the donations that I get. I will pay the booking fee for every unhoused person that comes across my desk. So the booking fees are $25. It's one of the few fees that can't be waived by the court. Honestly, it's just crazy that these sometimes go into collections and affect unhoused people's finances because they can't pay a $25 fee when in order to get out of jail. So I appreciate all of you who have supported that, and I'll keep that up. But I did want to talk about real quickly before we get to Justin, if you don't mind, Harry.
Please, by all means.
Yeah. So when she was district attorney for San Francisco, Kamala had 1,900, cannabis cases that hit her desk. 1,500 of them were ended up having at least some sort of incarceration, usually less than 30 days. But 80% of those cases also had another charge on them. So if it was something like child endangerment, trafficking, they weren't just pure cannabis, whatever the TikTok friendly word is, related charges. So I think it's important to realize that. But what I'm more impressed by her is what she did when she was Attorney General. She started what's called the Back on Track program, which took first-time nonviolent hug offenders and gave them a path to get their high school diploma, get college credits, and get a job, get work experience, worked with private businesses to have jobs for these people so that they wouldn't even have that blemish on their record. So helping people get back on track, which I'm a big fan of diversionary programs in lieu of people having stuff on their record for low-level crime. So look at the arc of where things are going. Yes, there were prosecutions in her time as a DA. Keep in mind, this was the early 2000s. This was the heart of the tough on crime era. And then once she had the bully pulpit of the Attorney General's office, she used that to create diversionary programs to get people back on track with being productive members of society.
You hear that? I mean, that's fucking sick. Excuse my language. That's amazing. See, I mean, come on, man. The choice is so obvious here. That was really well said, Law of the Wild. Also, thank you for saying that. That is like really good information. So we appreciate that. Appreciate the context there. That's really cool. Yeah. All right, Justin.
So I was saying, do you remember me? I used to be NFL narrator. We talked about the Super Bowl.
Super Bowl. I feel like I like all the way back, right? This Super Bowl?
It was
Super Bowl just happened?
Yeah, it was a long time ago.
I feel like I do remember talking to somebody about the Super Bowl. I don't remember like what our conversation was specifically. Oh, did I? I said I thought the Chiefs were going to win, right?
Yeah, you said the Chiefs are going to win, and then you were like, "Hey, who do you think's going to win?"
Yeah, that's right. I do actually recall that conversation now that you bring it up. Yes, I do.
Yeah, so like I'm not here to like debate right now. Okay. I had someone with me, but he got real sick, so he's going to sleep. So I'm gonna hold that off. Like I might be back tomorrow, but I do have some questions to ask you.
Yeah, we'll do some quick questions for sure.
So like, I hear a lot of people saying like, you know, Trump's bad and Biden's bad, Harris is bad. I just feel like, why do we always just rely on two parties to run elections?
Because we've had the two-party system for as long as the United States has basically existed.
I've been seeing a lot of things about Robert Kennedy. What do you think about him?
Well, this is a man who practically, we have text messages now that where he was practically admitting to assaulting a woman. So I don't think that's like somebody.
Robert Kennedy assaulting a woman?
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know. I don't do much research on him. So
he was accused of assault. He was accused of assaulting his babysitter, and then got an opportunity to clear it up on a podcast. And I believe I'm more than happy to play the minute clip. But he basically just says, "Look, I've never ran this campaign as a child of God. I had a really rambunctious childhood. Quote, if all of my deep, dark secrets could vote, I would end up being president of the world because I have so many." And then that's it. What? And then like a week and a half later, his campaign announced that Robert Kennedy privately texted his former babysitter who he raped. And he said that he apologized to her.
Yeah, we have these text messages, like they've been released.
Yeah, so he admitted to doing that, and apparently sexually assaulting women is a rambunctious childhood. So yeah, that guy's not only is he a conspiracy theorist and a vaccine conspiracy theorist and knows nothing about health, he's also just a complete piece of fucking human garbage. So yeah,
so don't vote for that guy. That guy sucks.
Yeah,
I wasn't planning on it. If you vote third party, I feel like that's just a wasted vote. So
you gonna vote for Kamala Harris?
I don't know.
What state are you voting in?
I'm in Texas.
Oh God, that's a decent state. Now you should vote for. So what's keeping you? Oh, sorry, you had questions to ask. I apologize. Sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah. Well, I kind of forgot most of my questions already. So.
Oh.
Let's say I pay attention to a lot of you creators. I follow you, of course. I watch a lot of your videos.
Thank you,
Chris. I only see you on here. I really don't pay much attention to you. No offense, but like.
No. Hey, none taken. I just like this is like a running joke. I get introduced on places as like Harry Light, so that's okay. Maybe check out. There's the most recent Piers Morgan episode where I just absolutely shredded. I heard it's good. I was also on Sky. Justin, I was on Sky News Australia yesterday. I don't know if you have access to Sky News Australia. No, I'm fucking around. It's okay, Justin. It's nice to meet you.
Well, anyway, yeah, I watch you. I watch both sides. I watch you. I watch Older Millennial as well. See what he says most of the time.
Boo. That guy sucks. Boo. That guy.
Terrible guy.
That guy sucks. He said he wants to throw disabled people off a mountain, so I don't fuck with that guy.
Wait.
I think that's a really good reason not to fuck with someone.
Yeah, I agree.
Well, that and there's another.
Nice.
I've watched a little bit of Parker and Dean as well.
Those guys sucked in. No, I'm kidding.
Oh.
we love Parker and Dean. We love them. Don't roll your eyes at me.
There were a few other MAGA creators. I forgot their names. I think.
Do you watch Law of the Wild? Because hey, Justin, can you do me a favor and follow Law of the Wild real quick for me?
Law of the Wild.
Yeah, he's right here.
Yeah. I don't think I've ever seen this guy.
Well, get ready, buddy. Now you've seen him, so you're gonna go follow him now. Yeah.
All right. I'll look at his content a little bit.
All right. Good.
After I get off. Anyway, Well, yeah, I've watched. Well, that kind of sums up a lot of my questions. I mean, I didn't know much about Robert Kennedy, and I can't really find much about him because I'm not very good at research. And
there's a great website for resources if you want to like learn more about politics. I think the web domain is kamalaharris.com. So
Yeah.
good resource. There's a lot of good information there.
don't you think that'll be a little biased, or
Nope.
No, I don't know why you'd say that.
What a horrible thing to say.
I don't know. I just feel like I could go look on. I could, of course, look at her website and see what she likes, but I could also go on Donald Trump's website.
No. That website's not good. You shouldn't go there. It's a bad
Why?
website.
Hey, I heard it's
Bad
biased.
website. I've heard it's the worst.
It's biased.
Yeah, you get
Biased?
viruses. You get viruses if you go on it. Yep, that's right.
Yep. You're gonna end up
But,
getting a virus, and then your mom's gonna walk in, and your pants are gonna be on the floor.
No, I've seen that.
All right, Justin. you
Dude,
have a good rest of your
somebody
night. I think we'll
understood
wrap
that
it up there.
reference. Somebody got that.
Yeah, I
Harry,
get that reference.
Come on, dude. That's such a funny meme. That's such a classic.
It is
Harry,
a classic.
dude. All right, whatever.
All right, Justin. You have a good rest of your night. All right.
But I've looked in. I haven't read much into Agenda 47. There's a lot of pages, and I work a lot, so I don't get much time to read a lot of it. But
I hear you, man.
and then I've heard a lot about Project 2025. I've seen a lot about that, but I really don't think that has much to do with Trump.
Well, 140 people who are connected to Trump work on Project 2025 or with the Heritage Foundation. So
Hold on,
Trump
let me
is very
turn
much
off the
connected.
comments.
Shout
They're
out
really
Slug.
distracting me.
Yo, Slug in the chat. My pants were slipping. You understand? You get that's a classic.
You don't have to double down.
Dude, why are you getting angry at me? Does DNC not let you have fun? They started telling me I'm allowed to have fun. I guess you haven't upgraded to that level.
Yeah, I haven't gotten DNC Plus
They
yet.
told
my
me
bad.
they told me I was being an extra good guy, so they were gonna upgrade me to having fun status.
Okay. All right. Yeah, okay.
And if I am gonna debate, I have to find my computer. I lost it.
Bro, what the?
Off to a strong start.
Yeah, Justin, listen, you have a
right.
good rest of your night, all right, man? I
All right.
appreciate
Well,
you coming on.
I'll see you tomorrow. Then I'll definitely
All right,
be
man.
back.
Sounds
All right.
good, brother.
Thanks,
Have a good night. What a guy.
Oh, what a guy. What a
Hold
character.
on now. Brendan, thank you for the $3. Caitlin, thank you for the $50 as well, saying, just like with Krish, I appreciate you both so much, your incredible knowledge, kindness, and respect for all your guests. I'm in my mid-30s, educated woman, and have learned an incredible amount of knowledge. Caitlin, thank you so much. That's incredibly kind. $50 is so appreciated. Thank you. You're amazing. Jillian, thank you for the $5 as well, saying, thanks for all that you do. Thank you for what you do, Jillian. I appreciate you. Shy, thank you for the $5, saying, can you continue to inform everyone that Kamala's name is pronounced Kamala, like Kamala? Yeah, exactly. We try. I mean, it's crazy. I think they learn it from Trump. You know what I mean? He just mispronounces it every time. So thank you. Absolutely. Melissa, thank you for the $5 as well, saying, love your debates. Haven't seen Chris till tonight, and he's great too. Keep it up, guys. Sending to Law of the Wild now too. Amazing, Melissa. I'm so glad to hear that. That's fantastic. And Kenny, thank you for the $1 as well, saying opinions on Trump's tax cuts during his presidency. Awful, terrible. Would not recommend. 0 stars.
Real quick, Melissa, thank you so much for $5. Loving the love with Harry, new follower to you. Keep it up. I really appreciate you following. And thanks
Don't
for
follow
$5.
Chris.
What's up?
Don't follow Chris.
Melissa, I love you. I appreciate you. It truly means the world.
Follow Chris.
Thank you. Kate.
Follow Chris and follow Law of the Wild.
Kate's $10 on Venmo. You don't have to say my name. I'm saying it WK in the chat, but just want to share votevets.org for link to refer vets to. They work with Lincoln Project a lot. You are great. You're great, Kate, and I appreciate you. I want to make sure I'm following you down there. Thank you so much. Truly goes a long way. And that's really awesome of you. Truly, I'm gonna look that up and I'll start sharing it as well. Votevets.org. That's incredible. I appreciate you. Steph, $25. Miss these lives so much. We'll be tuning in. I appreciate you so much. It's great to see you. Jillian, thank you so much, so much for all you guys do. $5. Jillian, thank you for being here. I love you and I appreciate you so much. Thank you for all that you do. Listen, guys, real quick. I just want to show this for 1 second. You can just kind of here. What I'm always so appreciative of the Venmos and the Cash Apps. I know Harry is as well. We don't take it for granted. I lost my light for my videos. I had this light bar. And so I'm using this $10 ring thing that's laying down. But because of y'all's support, I'm going to pick up a ring light. I just ordered to pick up a actual light, a light bar, a nice light bar that I used previously, and I'm going to pick it up again. And that's because of you guys, and I appreciate you so much. From the bottom of my heart, thank you. Sorry, Harry. Sorry.
I have the honor of reading off some. Daphne, $25. So there's one booking fee for an unhoused person. Andrea, Andrea, $50. There's 2 unhoused booking fees that I paid. Maggie gave $6, and Melissa $5. So thank you guys very much for the help.
W's.
We will have it will go a long way for some people who need some help. Thank you.
Yeah,
Yo, that's
everybody.
awesome,
Again,
guys.
as I said before, if you're considering Venmoing Cash App, any of us, I would direct anything from me to Law of the Wild. He's helping people who need it. He's doing amazing work. So I would have it all go there. Link in the bio for Law of the Wild, his Venmo Cash App. Highly, highly recommend.
And I agree. I say
you
the
should do
same.
that.
Go to law. Go to law. Go to law.
Go to law. Go to law. These folks need help, but they're getting that help from your help. It's kind of like a circle. All right, Elijah, buddy, MAGA, why? Oh, also make sure to drop a follow to me and, of course, Chris and Law of the Wild. They're fantastic.
There's 2 other people. Oh, this guy's
Hey,
good.
how y'all doing?
Good. How old are you?
Good. I'm 19.
Okay, why you MAGA?
So I am kind of on the edge right now of if I'm going to vote.
What state are you voting in?
Alabama.
Okay.
Yeah. So obviously, most of the people around me are MAGA, but I've been following you. I'm a big fan, actually. And
Thanks, man. I appreciate that.
Very informative, and I'm almost leaning toward Kamala at this point. Yeah, I know.
W, man. W.
But I'm just a little uninformed on what Kamala's beliefs are, because I'd been watching, before Biden dropped out. So if you could just fill me in on that.
Yeah, I think that she's pretty much in line with Joe Biden on a lot of the issues. So when you've heard me talk about like this is what Joe Biden believes, Kamala Harris is there. I think like the main ones are, she agrees with Joe Biden's reforms on healthcare. She agrees with protecting women's reproductive rights. She agrees with fighting climate change. She agrees with the investments in infrastructure and things like that. Like she's there 100%. She has, an agenda that's going to move America forward, not backward with Donald Trump. I mean, you kind of seeing her campaign slogan is "We're not going back." And I think we can all agree that the Trump era was chaos, and she's like, let's not go back to that. Let's move America forward. And a lot of her policy does that. So, I think that like anything you've heard about Joe Biden, pretty good chance that Kamala Harris is there.
Okay, so you think like most of the policies will kind of be in line with what Biden had planned? Okay.
Yeah, she's going to appoint judges like similar in ideologically aligned with Joe Biden's judges and things like that, which is also really important. So definitely.
Okay, cool. I appreciate you kind of clearing that up for me.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
I've been having conversations with my family about like stuff that I've learned from you. How to kind of like
that.
how to like express how bad Trump is, and why Democrats aren't like evil either. So
right.
I appreciate what you do, and Chris also, I'm a big fan, as well as Parker and Law of the Wild.
Thanks, man.
Law of the Wild really
Thanks,
makes
man.
sense.
Thank you so much, Elijah. That means a lot, and I know it takes a lot to talk to friends and family about some of this stuff, especially as someone who grew up. Well, a lot of my like high school years and stuff were like in North Georgia and Kennesaw, which can be near Marjorie Taylor Greene's district. So I understand like having those conversations can be tough. So proud of you, man. Proud of you. Seriously, I appreciate the kind words.
Yeah. Thank you. I appreciate you bringing me up, and maybe we'll talk soon.
Harry, why'd you look at me like that?
I saw a comment.
Oh, okay.
Americans for Trump, huh? What's going on here, bud?
I don't know. You tell me.
How old are you?
Bro, oh my God. It's so
tell me.
ridiculous.
How old are you, bro?
19.
You're 19? What year were you born?
2005.
Okay. All right, you passed the test. So why Americans for Trump, man? What's going on?
Huh?
Why Americans for Trump, man? What's going on here?
I mean, why not, man?
Okay.
Bro, can you just answer the question? Fuck. Please.
Hey,
Why are you voting for?
Calm down, buddy. Calm down.
Why are you voting for Trump, man?
Why do you? Not only why are you voting for Trump, you have an account dedicated to him. So I would hope that you could be able to outline to us why you support Donald
You
Trump.
have an account that's dedicated to Kamala, so
It's my name.
Kamala Harris.
It's
Vice President Harris
Kamala.
or Kamala Harris.
Think of like like a comma in a sentence. Think of like comma la. Kamala. Thank you, Carol, for the subscription. Appreciate you. It's not that
Why
hard.
we go to insulting now? Because you guys don't have facts about me.
Bro, you mispronounced her name. It's Kamala.
Oh, that's such
Kamala.
a big deal. Oh my goodness.
It is a big deal. It is a big deal, actually.
Oh no.
Where was the insult, by the way? I don't know what you're talking about. But please outline to us why you're voting for Donald Trump.
I just like the economy, man. I mean,
okay, here we go.
Economy.
2 IQ take off the bat. 2
take off
IQ.
what bat?
What bat, bro?
Hold on,
Name a
hold on,
piece
hold
of
on.
legislation Trump passed through
Can I speak?
Congress to make the
can I
economy
speak?
better. Name a piece of legislation
Okay,
Trump passed through Congress.
Can I speak? Legally
What's
speak?
up? Yeah.
Can I
Name a
speak?
piece of legislation. Go.
I want to see what I liked about him. You asked me a question. And I'll tell you what I like about him.
Go ahead now.
I just liked. Well, now it kind of sucks now because we have these illegal aliens coming in.
There we go.
We've had.
You could go on Fox. You could just buzzword it over and over and over again. Be purposely rage baiting. It's fucking annoying. There's no intellect here. You're just purposely saying shit that you know is going to get a reaction. Can you name a piece of legislation before we continue? Can you name a piece of legislation before we continue? Just name one. Name a piece of legislation first and we can talk.
I'm so tired, man. I'm so
one
sick
piece of
this
legislation and we can talk and you can continue. Wow.
Can I say what I was going to say?
Yeah, go ahead, bro.
Okay, so I want to tell you what I was gonna say. So basically, I like it. I don't like it now with Biden. Well, Biden stepped out obviously, and Kamala took a spot. Kamala took a spot. But anyways, have you seen how bad the economy is? Have you seen these illegal aliens coming in, sneaking in deadly weapons, sneaking? Hey, I'm not done yet. Hold on, I'm not done yet.
Well, you're saying really unintelligent things, so it's hard to listen to.
Fentanyl.
Not true. Not true.
Oh, it's not. Oh, why is that?
No, it's not true.
Okay, listen.
It's not true. It's objectively false. It's objectively false. You know why it's false? You know why it's false? Because the majority of people prosecuted. Well, it doesn't matter if you're done talking yet. It's my live, so I get to declare when you are and aren't. So the majority of people prosecuted for trafficking the F drug are native-born Americans. Matter of fact, it's over 85%. We have a lawyer. Go ahead, lawyer. Go ahead, Law of the Wild.
How's that DNC money coming in, by the way?
Oh, the trillions of dollars that Taylor Swift pays me for every live is fantastic. I'm living it up.
America, you're like carpet bombing a bunch of topics here. Do you want to just pick one thing to talk about?
Okay, I'm telling you something, but you guys won't let me talk.
Yeah, okay, we heard you. We heard you. We heard you. We heard you. We heard you about immigration.
I'm telling you. I'm not.
Okay, great. We heard you. Thank you.
Can I ask you a question real quick? I just want you to answer one question.
Go ahead. Go ahead. No, you spoke. We heard you about immigration. Don't make me mute you again. I don't want.
Come on now, it wasn't done yet.
I couldn't care less. Couldn't care less.
I
couldn't care less if you were done or not. So now Law of the Wild's going to talk, and you're going to like it. Okay.
No, I'm just very I understand you've got a lot of damned up feelings that you want to get out, but this is a conversation. Nobody wants to hear you monologue for 30 minutes about everything that you like. Can you just pick one thing and we can go back and forth about that you like?
Cook.
That's what I was gonna do, and you wouldn't let me talk.
Okay, so can we finally speak about? Okay, are you done yet about immigration? Are you done?
I'm telling you what I didn't like beneath Biden. I'm telling you what I didn't like.
Okay. Yeah, pick one thing.
Anything about it.
Pick one thing. Pick one thing, and we'll go topic by topic. So you said immigration, right?
This whole time, but you wouldn't let me say anything,
buddy, if you don't stop talking and just pick a topic, I'm gonna move on to somebody else. Okay? So immigration.
Yes.
Immigration. Yeah, sounds good.
Yes, sounds good, man.
Okay, great. So I just told you the statistic on F drug trafficking. It's not undocumented migrants who are bringing in, and there's no data for that. It's native-born Americans. Those are the people who are trafficking it, trading it. They're prosecuted 85% of the time for it, right?
Sure.
So that's number one. Number two, border crossings right now are lower than when they were in 2019 under Donald Trump. Border crossings have gone down 54% in recent months because of Joe Biden's executive order. By the way, Biden has put forward a number of pieces of immigration legislation. They've all been shut down by Republicans. One of the bills he put forward was actually written by a Republican senator and a couple of Democratic senators. It was a very conservative immigration bill that didn't really give the Democrats anything they wanted when it came to immigration, and Republicans still said no to it. So the Democrats have tried to solve the immigration problem. We've been been trying for decades now, and every single time it's rejected by Republicans. So you no longer can blame it on us when you guys are the people blocking the policy.
You guys blame anything on us. That's what you guys do.
No, like
you guys
what?
Blame anything on us.
What have the Democrats unjustly blamed Trump and the Republicans for?
You guys call us all these names.
You are a cult. You are a cult.
You can't talk about me blaming stuff on you guys.
All right. Respond to what I just said. Respond to what I just said. Stay on topic. Let's go.
Stay on topic about what? You won't let you say what I was gonna say, man. Come on.
Immigration. We just settled on immigration, so stay on topic. Go.
Talking. Okay. So we've had new cases of fentanyl. We've had a bunch of deaths leading to fentanyl. What? We've had a bunch of people.
Did you know that? Did you know? Can you stop saying? Can you say F drug?
Young people unalive.
Can you say F drug instead, please? Illicit F drug. Can you just say that? Illicit F.
Why
say illicit F.
Bro,
get the hell out of the guy, bro. Please.
It'll get
it's going to it's TikTok terms of service. It's going to get the live restricted or banned.
That's funded by Media Palette.
Okay.
Enjoy that,
yeah.
man.
All right. Now you're gone. I mean,
he's got nothing.
I just really wanted to ask what the again. It's just got to be like a racism / misogyny thing. Just the incessantness to mispronounce her name even when you're told otherwise. Like what? It's just so disgusting to me. It's so
ridiculous. And we definitely multiple times.
It's so
well, and like he just completely failed to acknowledge your fact that over 85% of the F trafficking that's coming across the border is American citizens. And there's a reason why the cartels like to use American citizens is because they face less inspection at the border. They're much more likely to be waved through or get a cursory inspection than somebody who's not an American national.
It's crazy, man. It's crazy. Yeah.
Oh, jeez, man.
I'm tired.
I'm also tired. All right.
Real quick. Adam, another dollar. Let's get the debate going, brother. It can be entertaining as hell. My account is Donnie Locks.
That's the White House in this dude's profile picture? What's going on here?
Adam, I'll let Harry's going to control, so I'll see what Eric can do. I really appreciate the support, though. And also, we're live like a lot of nights. I know Harry is. I am, too. Sometimes we go. So, I appreciate you. Another dollar. It's Donnie again. I have 20K followers. They want us to debate. My account name is Donnie Locks. Let's have a fun friendly
Can you type in the chat and I'll add him up?
If you're in here. I appreciate you a lot, Donnie. I do. Brenna,
Kylie.
$10. You and Harry and the others inspire me as a future law student and legislator to start. You and Harry and the others inspired me, a future law student and legislator, to start a young Democrats club at my college and begin pursuing advocation for federally mandated civics education. Thank you for all you do, Brenna. I'm having trouble speaking, but that is incredible. Holy shit! I'm really proud of you. That takes a ton of work. That is so incredible. Thank you so much for $10. First of all, it goes a long way. But that is, I can only imagine how difficult that is. That's not something that even just thinking about that sounds like quite a feat. So nice job. A future law student as well. I'm proud of you. I'd love to follow you. I'd love to keep me updated on all that. Shout out. W. Brenna. Thank you so much.
Harry, he's here.
And I've got Stevie for 25. So there's another unhoused. Stevie works with unhoused individuals in rural WNC, which I maybe Western North Carolina. I'm not sure. Wisconsin. No, that's the wrong order. I don't know. Wisconsin. If it's Wisconsin, he's my neighbor. And then Patrick, $100. So thank you very much, Patrick. That's 4 booking fees for unhoused people we'll be able to cover for that.
Does that last name start with a K?
It does.
I think we know who that is. That's an incredible person. Yo, shout out W right there. W for Patrick.
Thank you very much, Patrick. That's awesome.
That's incredible. Guys,
that's the man right there.
Doing a lot of really great work right now.
Yeah, everybody, Venmo Cash App in Law in the Wild's bio. Does a lot of good stuff, helping people out. So if you're going to Venmo Cash App anybody here, make it Law of the Wild.
I agree. I second that.
Highly recommend. All right. If you're MAGA, let us know in the chat. I'll bring you up. And we'll talk. What was that guy's name that he wanted to come up, Chris? What was his name?
It was Donnie Locks, I think.
Donnie Locks?
Donnie Locks. Oh, Robert, thanks so much for $5. Please video of Trump's past admin quotes to refer. Robert, thanks so much for $5 in Cash App. I have made one video on it, but I'll make another because that video, I think it's kind of hard to figure out how to format it. But I appreciate you letting me know. I'll definitely work on that tomorrow and we'll get it going. I appreciate you a lot. Yo, Donnie, what's up, man? Oh, Michael Dollar, tell Harry that Brock Purdy's the GOAT. Brock Purdy's not the GOAT.
No,
overrated.
Michael, buddy,
That dude is so
wrong.
overrated.
I know
That dude
you.
is so
I know you.
overrated.
This guy's always sitting on my live saying Brock Purdy's the GOAT. Super Bowl, buddy. Super Bowl. Super Bowl.
What a horrible thing to say.
What a horrible thing to say.
Hey,
I think I'd rather have Danny Dimes than Brock Purdy. Yep, I said it.
Well, yeah, actually.
No,
probably, bro.
I said it.
no, I
Don't
actually
talk to me,
probably agree.
Falcons.
Dude, Brock
Don't talk to me,
Purdy's
Falcons.
Hey, I'm a 49ers fan, so all the way.
Brock Purdy's
Yeah,
a
Brock
system-
Purdy sucks.
He's a
Oh,
system
my.
quarterback, bro. That's a system QB right there. Who cares?
Well, I believe that Brock Purdy liked a meme or posted something about Trump, so I don't like him. All right, Donnie, what's going on, man? Why you mad?
What's up, Harry, bro? I've seen a lot of your content, man. First off, I just want to say I love your videos, love what
Thanks,
you post. Second off, I've seen a lot of people come up here, kind of be negative towards you, kind of be rude. I want to have a very friendly debate. I don't know a lot, so I want you to kind of inform me of what I don't know, okay?
We'll do our best. We'll do
All
our
right,
best.
all right, sounds good, sounds good. All right, my first question is, right, we hear a lot about Donald Trump, we hear a lot about Donald Trump, we hear a lot about Kamala, but what I hear a lot about and what I want to know is, why is Kamala better for us?
Kamala.
Sorry, Kamala.
Kamala Harris.
Yes, I'm very sorry,
It's like-
Kamala.
Kamala. Let's go.
What makes Kamala more fit to run the country than Donald Trump, who's been a businessman for 20 plus years and knows
man.
the ins and outs? No. I could be wrong, right? Like, I don't know anything, like I'm saying.
No,
But-
I was saying, oh man, like I could answer this question for an hour, but I'll try to keep it short.
Okay, good. So why would Kamala be better at running the country than someone who has personal skills, who has these interpersonal skills, who talks to people, who convinces people, who does all of these things? Why would Kamala be better? Sorry, I keep.
No, you're good. I'll try to keep this as short as possible. Look, I think that Kamala has some amazing experience serving people. She's been a public servant her entire life. Started as, courtroom prosecutor, district attorney, attorney general, senator, vice president. I mean, she's really worked her way up the ranks and done amazing things each step of the way. So that experience and her entire life being for people, serving people, I just think that is a unique quality to be president. She's also incredibly smart. And as we just talked about, the experience necessary, and she's caring. She genuinely cares about people, and I think that's necessary in a leader. I think you obviously want to have a leader who thinks about the people they're leading and actually considers them when they're making policy. I think that she does that every step of the way and has done that every step of the way. That's just Kamala's side, and then of course she's been in line with the Biden administration. Has had a record number of tie-breaking votes when she presided over the Senate on really great policies such as the Inflation Reduction Act, which included the largest investment in fighting climate change in world history. It capped insulin at $35 a month for seniors on Medicare, capped out-of-pocket expenses for seniors for their prescription drug costs starting in 2025. I mean, great policy. She did a lot of that good stuff. But that's just and she also actually has a vision for the future of America. She's not just saying oh, Trump is so bad, you should vote for me. She's saying yeah, we know Trump is bad, but here's what I would do if I were president. Here's what I want to do. I want to restore reproductive rights. I want to continue building off of the investments in climate change. I want to continue our investments in cancer research, stuff like that. So that's Kamala. With Trump, first of all, he's a really bad person, convicted felon, proven sexual abuser, proven business fraudster, and that kind of connects to your business point. That this guy's not a great businessman. He's not like this guy who knows the ins and outs of deals. He frames himself as that, but he's had 6 bankruptcies. He committed a bunch of business fraud, has to pay nearly $500 million in business fines for that business fraud. So, as the judge said in the case, Judge Engoron, that anybody can kind of get ahead when you have a bunch of fraud, right? So he's not this masterful businessman. He didn't cut a bunch of deals as president. He's not a great businessman privately when he wasn't in politics. And he's also a really bad person. So we have future vision with Kamala Harris, a dedicated public servant versus a convicted felon who didn't do anything during his presidency.
Okay, I see. So, all right. Here's what I see, right? So you gave me a lot of information on Kamala, right? Like a lot just now. And it's kind of hard to take in everything you just said. But here's kind of my saying. You say yeah, I can agree. There have been some statements from Trump that I do not stand with.
You're not rocking with.
No. But also you have to understand, people are like that. If you've spoken to anyone, have you ever played video games or anything like that?
Yes.
Have you ever seen someone say something crazy on the video game? Ever?
Absolutely.
It happens all the time, and people get canceled for it all the time. Old stuff comes out about them saying something or something bad happens, and it comes out, and what happens? They get canceled, right? Sometimes people make mistakes, right? Now, I'm not saying Trump is the greatest human being ever, and I'm not even saying he's a good human being. But what I am saying is I think because of his experience in the business field and with people. Hold on, sorry.
Chaos. Hey!
That's my sleeping dad. Sorry about that. Anyways, what I was saying is, I kind of lost my train of thought there.
Well, I can respond to what you just said, saying like the video game analogy. So I hear you on that, and I don't disagree that people say things in their past that they disagree with, and like maybe they regret. But those people are not running to be president of the United States. We have to hold like a high standard for the people we're electing to the most powerful office in the world, and
100%.
like, you know, if you're like 16 and you said something in a COD lobby, you shouldn't. Okay. All right. As long as you've learned from that and you moved on, you're a better person now, fine. But I just want to be clear that like when Donald Trump assaulted a woman and he bragged on audio about assaulting women and he broke laws and he committed business fraud, he was like a grown ass man. He's not like a 15-year-old making a mistake. Like this is like an adult knowing what he was doing was wrong and he did it anyway. So there's no forgiveness there. And like he doesn't apologize. Like for example, with the woman he assaulted, E. Jean Carroll, found liable for assaulting her. He doesn't apologize for doing that. Matter of fact, after he was found liable the first time, he defamed her some more and got sued again for defamation. Like that's no remorse. There's no regret there. He's just a bad person.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. I can see that. All right. I don't know. Like, I genuinely don't know. Is there like true proof of this? Like, did this genuinely happen? Like, is this true? Like 100%. Like, I can go look it up and see Donald Trump did this right now. Like, it's 100% confirmed.
Yes. You can find the court documents and all the articles. However, what we should do right now is I should let Law of the Wild tell you more about this case while I get more water.
Okay.
Law of the Wild, are you okay with that?
Sounds good.
Yeah. So there were two cases for the E. Jean Carroll case. Okay. One was a pure defamation case. What had happened is E. Jean Carroll wrote a book in the late 2010s, and it highlighted what she considered was a grape by Donald Trump in a department store changing room. Donald Trump, in response to that, started a tirade of 30 to 40 tweets a night defaming E. Jean Carroll with vicious insults, inciting other people to do it. So she filed a defamation lawsuit.
Wait. Hold on,
Go ahead.
quick. Sorry, I'm sorry. I'm really not trying to interrupt you here, but just on the tweet thing, like when you say like vicious and mean tweets, like could I go on Twitter and find these tweets?
It's on True Social. It's on his True Social. It's actually the easiest place to find them would be the court documents because I'm pretty sure they're all.
Yeah, they're entered in as exhibits in the court documents if you wanted to go and look it up. And she was receiving thousands of messages about that with her recounting of the encounter. While that case was going on, New York expanded a law that they had initially passed prior to E. Jean Carroll even writing her book. It was a Child Victim Survivors Act, which was passed to give a look-back window for people who were children who were victims primarily of the Catholic Church and some of the atrocities that happened with their clergy members. So they expanded it, and what they had done is they provided a 1-year period that allowed people to go back and file claims that were outside of the statute of limitations. While this was going on, the legislature had expanded this to adults. So what E. Jean Carroll was able to do was file a civil claim for SA and grape against Donald Trump because of the change that had happened to this law when they expanded it not just from children but also to adult victims of survivors of SA. So, that was actually the case that was heard first, and so after the jury heard the evidence that was presented, there were people who testified. There was some physical evidence of journal entries. She waived client privilege with her therapist and was able to enter in some of her notes. The jury evaluated all of this and found Donald Trump liable for SA of E. Jean Carroll for
Okay.
forcing himself inside of her, trying to use the friendliest language I can.
No, I understand.
And then after that, there was, and the jury in that case awarded her $2 million of damages for the essay and $3 million of compensatory damages. After that, they heard the case related to defamation and awarded her
First, I want to say it's much easier to think about what you want to say before you go on the live. Okay, I understand why some of these people on here sound kind of silly because you get a little nervous once you're actually up here talking to you guys. So that's the first thing I want to put out. So that's why if I'm stuttering or I sound a little shaky, that's why.
Don't worry about that, bro. Like genuinely, don't worry about it.
But so here's some like I'm already forgetting my train of thought again, but here's some key things that I wanted to bring up. So during Trump's first run through in 2016 to 2020, I hear a lot about how gas prices were down, the economy was flowing, a house was affordable, stuff like that. And wait, I know COVID got pinned on Donald Trump, but I also have heard a lot, and this could be wrong. Like I said, I don't know a lot, but I've heard a lot of rumors about Harvard and Harvard doctors being silent, stuff like this about the COVID. And obviously the COVID vaccine did work, and there's studies and proof that the COVID vaccine did work. But the doctors were saying that it's not as extreme and severe as it is. And so these policies that were implemented by the Biden campaign weren't necessarily needed. And it was all pinned on Trump because, like, there's only so much you can do when you get hit with a global pandemic out of nowhere. You know what I mean? It's almost like the Herbert Hoover situation whenever, you know what I'm talking about? During the Great Depression? Yeah, okay. So it's sort of similar in the sense that it got pinned on him, and there's only so much you can do. Like what president in office could have prevented an economy fail at that point in time, right? And then what did Biden do to like prevent that, if that makes sense? Please explain this to me.
Well, I don't think I don't blame Donald Trump for COVID happening by any means, and I don't blame him for the majority of the economic fallout. It was a worldwide, global thing. I think that he certainly could have been a stronger messenger in encouraging people, which may have resulted in fewer losses of life. But as far as the economic fallout, I don't blame him, except for one thing: when you're talking about gas prices.
Okay.
So simple supply and demand. When you have a high supply and demand is low, prices go down, and that's what happened. Because people weren't driving, companies weren't manufacturing goods because their workforces weren't there, and so the gas prices, they bottomed out. For a while there, gas futures were actually negative, so they were saying that if you invested in gas right now, you're going to lose money. So during all of that, we were losing refineries left and right, and small gas and oil companies left and right, because if gas is I've heard Mr. Global, who's an oil and gas executive on this app, say $2.60 right now is about the magic number. That American refineries need the gas to be at about $2.60 a gallon, or they're not making any money whatsoever.
Okay.
And once we dropped below that, we had dozens of oil companies going into bankruptcy, not Exxon and all the big ones, but the smaller ones. So what he did is he cut a deal with the Saudis to drop oil production by 10%, lowering the global supply so that the American supply would be higher valued. And that
is that not a good thing though?
So it would be, except he made the deal for 2 years. So after we were able to crawl back out of COVID in the early 2021, we were still under that deal that was cutting global production. But once we had after we had people were vaccinated and going back into the workforce, all of a sudden the demand for oil and gas skyrocketed, and now we had companies, refineries and oil companies that were going out of business, and a lower global supply because of where this deal with OPEC was still in place, and on top of that, we had the Russian issue, because when Russia invaded Ukraine, their oil is now no longer, we're not buying their oil anymore. So all of those supply issues, and that ended up with us having gas that went up, $4 to $5 a gallon in some parts of the country. All of that is tied back into COVID, but it's a much greater thing. And I don't blame Trump for any of that. I think he needed to do what he needed to do in order to try to save the American oil industry. But the fallout of that is nothing that any president could do. There's nothing that a president can do to increase our refining capacity on the turn of a dime. The president couldn't do anything about Russia's invasion, things like that. I don't blame either of them as far as gas prices go.
Okay, I have another question. So you brought up COVID deaths earlier, right? And like I said before, this isn't me taking a shot. This is genuinely me asking a question. I've also heard a rumor that may or may not be true, but COVID-related deaths were over the extreme. So let me explain this, right? A COVID-related death could be, this is how they would record it. And I could be wrong. I could be totally wrong. This is what I heard. They could record a COVID death. Let's say somebody had COVID and then they got hit by a bus and died. That would be recorded as a COVID death. And they would record all of these people dying who had COVID, but they weren't actually dying of COVID. They just had it when they died, if that makes sense. They died to other issues, like a heart attack or something else, but they called it a COVID death because they had COVID at the time they died. Does that make sense?
Yeah, so what you're talking about, so I'm a volunteer EMT, and I would be when the hospital.
Jesus, dude, this guy's fucking killer.
What don't you do, Law? God damn! Can you run for president already?
Next time this Law of the Wild, you're like, yeah, I'm a fucking. I don't even know.
So our volunteer corps was called into service to help hospitals that were being overrun, and what would happen is you would have a cause of death, and that's always going to be something very specific. It's not going to be, C19 listed as the cause of death. It'll be, respiratory failure, heart failure, whatever the actual thing in their body that happened that led to their unaliving. And then you would have conditions affecting that. That's listed separately. And so if they tested positive for C19, that would be one of the things that was listed as a condition affecting their unaliving, because you don't know whether it caused it or not. And for there are these kind of oddball things where somebody was hit by a bus, as you said, and they happen to have COVID, but that would be a condition affecting their death, and you could go back and try to argue, but those are so minute. Those are so very, very rare and odd circumstances. But what the numbers we saw was how many people who unalived had COVID-19 listed on their certificates as something affecting their death. And so maybe you could argue that maybe a few thousand, maybe even a couple 10,000 shouldn't have been called that way. But I think it's important that we understood the breadth of the issue. So it's more important that we make sure we capture all of them and maybe get a few wrong than miss some of that data that would be helpful for helping public health officials generate the best policies for their area.
Yeah, I see. You can't favor the minority sometimes. It's just not how it works. But,
and I also just want to second, what Law of the Wild here is saying, because again, this is pretty normal, and Law can correct me if I'm wrong, but this is pretty normal in a lot of circumstances when people pass away. If somebody passes away from a heart attack and they also suffered from diabetes or hypertension or something else, that's obviously most likely going to play some role in them passing away from just said heart attack. So if somebody dies from I don't know, something, and they also had COVID-19, it's very, very likely that COVID-19 played a large role in that, although it might not be their primary cause of death, but it's still the secondary. I don't know if secondary cause. I think Law understands what I'm saying.
Gotcha.
Yeah, a contributing cause. Yeah.
Thank you.
So I have a couple more questions. So first question, I'm on ChatGPT here now, so I have a little bit of resource. But so I do hear a lot about Kamala's role in prosecution, right? And how she's been kind of quote unquote too tough on criminals and too tough on the criminal justice system, and that let me read a little bit. Yeah, Harris's record as a prosecutor in California has been criticized by both conservatives and some progressives. Critics argue that she was too tough on crime and did not do enough to address systematic issues in the criminal justice system. What do you have to say about that? I'm curious.
Yeah, so I think that's a fair point. What I think it is, what's also kind of funny is when she was running for district attorney, that they were saying that she was going to be not tough enough on all the criminals. When she headed up the career criminal unit at San Francisco, and she prosecuted repeat offenders and things like that, and she would give them diversionary programs or like downward departures on their sentences if they showed that they were amenable to probation and things like that. So when she was running, she ran against an incumbent DA when she ran for San Francisco DA, and his campaign was she's going to be too soft on criminals. So I do think that the juxtaposition is a little bit interesting with this, but district attorneys, they have cases that are brought to them by law enforcement, and they get a decision whether they charge or not to charge. She prosecuted people, and I'm a defense attorney, so I have no love for prosecutors. So I think that she was very aggressive in a lot of things that probably a lot of prosecutors now, 20 years after her time as a district attorney, would not have been very heavy on. The things like that. Period. And we're talking early 2000s when we're post 9/11. We're in the heart of the tough on crime. Still kind of the tail end of the 90s glory years of the war on these. Yeah, real quick. Sorry.
So you brought up this point, and this could be, don't flame me for this, because like I said, I don't know a lot, but I brought this up earlier, right? It was a different time back then. You could say different things back then. And I think that correlates somewhat to the stuff, not all the way, because some of the stuff Donald Trump said was outright outlandish and disgusting. But some of the stuff he said, like it would not be criticized the way it is today, 20 years ago. If you go really look at it, and I'm telling you this, like if you go watch videos of Donald Trump, they talk about how he's the next Bachelor, how he's upcoming, like all of this different stuff. They liked him, but now after cancel culture and all this, it's changed. Now continue. You don't have to.
Yeah, I don't know. Harry may want to put a pin in that, but what I was more impressed with her is as she moved into AG, she had a downward departure rate, which is again people who were receiving lower sentences than the recommended guidelines, and diversionary programs. She launched what I thought was a great program, which has been kind of a model for other states, the Back on Track program. I don't know if you heard me mention that earlier, where first-time offenders would be able to, if they would agree to finish their high school diploma and then work at least 20 hours a week at a job, and a lot of them were like fast food restaurants, kind of entry-level jobs, that they could work and actually get their charge removed completely from their record, completely expunged. I thought that's a great program to help people who made a mistake get back, get back on track. It's a little bit cliche with the name of it. And then when you're AG, it's your job to defend the state against lawsuits. I know there was one lawsuit that came up about the overcrowding of California's prisons. They were sued, and what the person was asking for says it's an Eighth Amendment violation to put me in a California prison because they're overcrowded. And eventually that went all the way up to the Supreme Court, and they found that California had to find some better ways to manage their prison population. And essentially they ended up needing to let out low-level offenders so that they could lock up the really bad people, which I'm fine with. I think our prison should be for people we're afraid of, not people we're mad at.
Yeah.
Then you kind of look at just this arc, and then when she was running for president, she had a few criminal justice reform things, which I think are really great. Ending cash bail. I think that's that's a huge thing, because poor people will sit there and rot in jail because they can't come up with $100 or $200. And a person who commits the same exact crime with the same exact criminal history, who can write a $200 check, doesn't have to come out be in jail. I think that that's unjust. Now, with cash bail, people who are a danger to the public still remain locked up. People who have a history of not showing up to their court dates are still locked up. We're just talking about not taking a pound of flesh for people who we have no reason to believe aren't going to hurt the community or show back up to court. She wants to legalize the green stuff, which I'm all for. That's gonna be a huge adjustment to our criminal justice system around the country. And she wants to end private prisons, which I think there should be no profit motive behind locking people up. So I think you can look back at anybody's record at all, and you've kind of highlighted that, and find little things to point out and say, aha, you're a terrible person. But when I look at the totality of the circumstances and the arc of her career, I think that she's very strong as far as a criminal justice perspective.
Okay, yeah, I can totally agree with your statements there, 100%. And like I said, everyone I know, everyone I've talked to, I live in Texas, so everyone around me is pro MAGA, like everywhere. If I said I was if I said go blue, I don't know what would happen. It's nothing good. so I'm very thankful that you guys are kind of informing me of some of the stuff that I haven't learned or haven't truly understood yet. And I have a couple more questions here. So you brought up the fact that Kamala wants to legalize the green stuff. But isn't there a bunch of controversy around her convicting a bunch of people for the green stuff?
Yeah, so that was back when she was a district attorney for the city of San Francisco, and again, this is early 2000s, so a different mentality on the stuff. None of the states had legalized it yet, so different time. She had about 1,900 convictions. About 1,500 of them saw jail time. But when you actually look at the cases, nearly 80% of those also had additional charges on top of the green stuff. So it wasn't necessarily just the green stuff that got them locked up. It was they were under the driving a vehicle while on green stuff, or child neglect and things like that. So there were extenuating circumstances. Now I don't think that anybody should be locked up, and I think diversionary programs are appropriate. But that's when we kind of get into our arc of that diversionary program. Yeah.
So okay, God, dude, it's so hard to debate you guys. You guys are so smart. Like
I think we're having a conversation. I'm not sure this is.
Anyways, another question here. So, Kamala did run in 2020 to 2024, correct?
Well, she ran for it was 2024, right? Yeah.
Yeah. How come she got so little and such a minute amount of votes when she ran her first time? Like, why was it it was extremely low?
Well, she dropped out before even the first primary happened.
Oh, okay. See, these are things I don't know. Thank you for
Yeah, she dropped out. So she was on the ballot in a lot of these states, but she wasn't even seeking the nomination anymore. So the votes that she got were just from her fans who, or maybe from people who didn't realize she had dropped out, but they were from people who still supported her, even though she had already left the race. I mean, Ron DeSantis got like 30% of the vote in some states, even after he dropped out.
Okay, gotcha. So she never really publicly announced oh, I'm actually running for president or nothing like that.
No, she did. She campaigned, she raised money. She got up to 15% in some of the polls, but she dropped out before any of the primary elections happened.
And is that just because she didn't have enough already, or why?
Yeah, well, from if I recall from what she said earlier, is she didn't see a path forward.
Okay, that makes sense. I understand that. All right. So another question is, so a lot of people talk about Biden's ability to be competent. His intelligence quotient, his IQ. Is it still the same as it was 5 years ago, 10 years ago?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not a Biden supporter. I'm not going to defend him. I think that his age is showing, but he's also not running. So it's like it's not something I want to spend too much time thinking about unless you're talking about like his competency to finish out the rest of his term.
Okay, so then this is my question to Harry, because you love Biden, right? Like you're a big Biden fan.
That's right.
Okay, so what are your thoughts on his like competency levels and his IQ? Like, you don't think it's dropping as his?
No, I have no problem with his ability to serve. If he were still the nominee, I'd still support him, and if he were running for another 4 years, I'd still say that he's fit to serve. I think of three main things when I think of Biden's when I think of Biden's mental ability. Number one, his record. His record is amazing. He's gotten a lot done in 4 years. A bumbling fool who doesn't know where he is wouldn't be able to get the things done that Biden has gotten done. Number two, Republicans and world leaders themselves have said that Biden is sharp. Like Kevin McCarthy called him strong in negotiations. Same
I've
logic
seen
applies.
videos with him. He's very yeah. Continue. Sorry, I didn't mean to
people
interrupt.
age. Yeah, people age, no doubt. Kevin McCarthy said that he's sharp. No, and I mean, again, somebody who's a bumbling fool would not be able to be sharp. Number three, he's had a neurological exam every year of his presidency. He had one in 2024. The doctors declared him perfectly fit to serve. No problem there. I listen to doctors, and again, these are Walter Reed doctors. These are people who are, dedicating their lives to helping veterans and things like that. So they're good folks. And then finally, my last reason is that I've met the president. I was in the same room with him. I interviewed him. I asked him questions that he did not have beforehand. He talked in depth about policy. We talked on camera, off camera. And from my experience with him one-on-one, like he had no problem. And, I never got a sense that, this guy is not fit to serve. So that's what I think about. I know people have different views, but I have no problem.
So my question on that is
really quick, Donnie Locks. I'm so sorry. I'll second what Harry said. I also met the president. I think he was sharp. I think he's good. I think that the concerns are reasonable, and his age is certainly showing. But I think that he's fit to serve. Also, I come into this conversation really to say that Harry, buddy, can I just? How tall is that hoop?
I don't, bro. I don't. All right,
that is not a 10-foot
DM
hoop.
me, bro. You know what? I'm gonna call you on Twitter. Go. I'm gonna call you on Twitter. I'm gonna mute my mic.
I promise you, that's not 10 feet. I promise you.
Go ahead, gentlemen. Continue.
Okay, so I see like a lot of videos online, like YouTube shorts or clips, and it's quite possible they're taken out of context. But there's one in particular, and it's Biden speaking, and as he's speaking, he's talking, and he says pause, as if he's reading from a script, like he's looking and reading from a script. You're muted, Harry.
He's on the phone.
Oh, okay, gotcha. So like, what are your thoughts on that? Like, I'm concerned that it may not actually be Biden running the country, if that makes sense. Like, if they're giving him these scripts and all of this stuff to say all the time, like, how do we know he's not just a yes man and there's people behind him running the country, right? Does that kind of make sense?
They're talking to each other. I'm not sure what's going on there.
Donnie, I'm sorry. Law, if you want to say something, or I can say something.
Yeah, I mean, every president reads from scripts. Donald Trump, when he was at the NRA convention, his teleprompter went down, and he just kind of awkwardly paused and stared at the crowd for 30 seconds. Yeah, I mean, it happens. Both of these guys are old as fuck. I mean, it's going to happen. But even though, I mean, and this might surprise you too. Like, I'm not like a diehard Kamala supporter either. I think I can look at it objectively and just kind of look at the history. I think that there's a lot of unfair attacks that are happening on both sides, but I think Trump unfortunately provides more.
They're very fine people on both.
More ammunition to counter or to support the attacks. But like, they're both old guys, but I don't think either of them are stupid, and I don't think either of them are pushovers. I don't think that like they're wheeling Biden in, that somebody else is just running the country or anything like that. Kind of a funny story in history for you on this. Woodrow Wilson actually had a stroke while he was in office, and his wife Edith was essentially running the country.
Oh, I've heard this. Yes.
And like propping him up like in meetings, and he's like drooling out of his face, and she's like, oh yes, I talked to the president about this, here's what we discussed. Like, I don't think any of that is happening. I don't think it's like a Weekend at Bernie's situation. Has he lost a step? I think it's clear that he has, but that's what happens with age. But I don't think that he's mentally incapable of making decisions, and I think that he's calling the shots. Obviously he's going to be leaning heavily on his advisors and things like that, but that's what a good leader does.
Gotcha.
I also just quickly want to point out, I'll say one more thing here, and then I might end up calling it. I'm getting tired, but Donnie, I appreciate you. I think that I do agree. I do agree. He's showing his age, and he's obviously he's old. He's an older guy.
Not at all.
I like Joe Biden a lot. And some people call me a shill. I'm not as much of a shill as Harry. I might be as much. I might be as much of a shill.
I mean, he's the one that takes payments from the Democratic Party. I don't.
That's right. That's right. No, I like Joe a lot, but I do also want to say that, like, objectively, even liking Joe a lot, like, regardless of him being old, he's always been kind of gaffe prone. Like, he's always been kind of known to have gaffes when he speaks. And so that I think that, like, that's always an important thing to mention in terms of, like, some of the things that some of the errors he can make may not relate to his age and may just be something that Joe's, again, just speaking objectively, had trouble with gaffes in the past. I know Harry will, start sobbing and freaking out and say,
all right,
Joe
this dude's actually like just lying on my name right now. It's pretty gross. This guy's just lying on my name.
I'm kidding. But he is, you know what's more important than that, Donnie? What's more important is he is objectively a top 3 president in American history in terms of passing domestic legislation, fiscal legislation, top 3 all time. I mean, one of the most productive presidents ever.
Okay. So I have a question, and it's related more to the military. Okay, so you hear a lot about Trump. When he was in office, there wasn't really anything going on. Ukraine wasn't being invaded. Taiwan wasn't being invaded. And like I said, I don't know a lot, so correct me after I'm done talking. But when Biden went into office, obviously all of this shit happened. Taiwan is a mess right now. It's not necessarily being invaded, quote unquote, but Ukraine is. There's lots of wars going on, Israel, all of this. And it's just like, how, oh my goodness, I can't speak, I'm sorry. Trump was able to prevent all this, and he says he's able to prevent it all if he gets back into office. And Putin even came out, or maybe this is wrong, but someone somewhere said something about Putin not going into Ukraine if Trump was back in office. So why did all of these countries start invading other countries when Biden was in office and not when Trump was in office, is what I'm trying to say. Sorry.
Yeah, so
Who wants to take this one?
I'm taking it. Hey, listen, I think that, like, this is obviously a little bit more nuanced, but I think that, like, number one, we know from, and I read some quotes from, Trump's previous generals, multiple of which said he had no concept of foreign policy. He was disastrous. He was dumb. General Milley is somebody who said, he was terrified of Trump in his final days of his presidency because he had no idea what the hell he was doing. John Bolton is somebody who has publicly said Biden's an embarrassment and think Biden should be much stronger in foreign policy, but also contest that for the first time ever, he was scared being with a president at some of these summits to let Trump in a room alone with certain leaders. I think that we have plenty of information through even the Trump presidency, through 3 administrations, really. We have evidence that our adversaries are pushing for Donald Trump to be the president. I think the most recent, easiest example of this is, 8 months ago, we had a congressional hearing about Joe Biden impeachment congressional hearing with about Hunter Biden's business dealings, and they had these witnesses, one of which they kept calling a star witness, who apparently had all this information that was going to lead to the impeachment of Joe Biden surrounding Hunter Biden business dealings. And they kept saying publicly, we have this star witness, he's giving us all this information. That star witness would end up admitting under oath to the FBI that he was being fed information, fake information from Russian intelligence officials, and he was indicted. And I think you start to ask the question of why that and other examples, why is one of our main adversaries clearly pushing on a national stage to make it look like Joe Biden's corrupt? And I think that you start to combine some of these answers. I think that it's really hard to beat the American military on the battlefield. It's really hard to beat the country that invests more in their military than the next 25 countries combined. It's much easier to convince the American public that, hey, the guy who tried to overthrow your democracy, the guy who like is causing more division than the most division objectively since the Civil War, the guy who has no idea what the hell he's doing on foreign policy. If you guys all go elect that guy again and he takes away your ability, he starts to crumble your democracy more, that's how they beat us. They beat us from the inside. And so I think that it's pretty clear that like our adversaries see a strategic advantage right now and like really like making the world a very intense place and making Joe Biden and the United States look weak on a global stage. And I think the goal is to convince the American people that they were safer under Trump, because Trump's an idiot. Trump has no idea what he's doing. Trump will give away national secrets knowingly or unknowing. Trump will not invest in our allies. Trump, even if you think Trump's not any of that, not any of what his advisors said he was, he's somebody who very clearly drives a wedge between us and our allies. This is a guy who talks about pulling out of NATO to distaste our allies. This is a guy who alienated us across the rest of the world, and NATO was very upset with. Joe Biden very much led us all together, the West all together against Russia. Donald Trump has said, I'm not going to do that. I might pull out of NATO. And so what's going to end up happening is you're going to alienate us on a world stage. You're going to ruin all our relationships.
Bro, how are you still yapping, bro?
I was just finishing the. This is honestly, this is my last question. I'm going to bed, so I'm just giving you the full.
I'm sorry, I was being mean. I apologize.
No. Honestly, you're right. I actually purposely was like, I'm going to be very specific here, and then I'm fucking going to bed because I'm so tired. Hope that makes sense, Donnie.
No. I did understand. It was a little rantish, but I got your point. Definitely.
No, that was actually a big. That was objectively a big. Harry, you have to admit though, I've done good all night. That was a purposeful one.
No, I was joking, bro. I think you've done terrific.
No, that was a long monologue though.
So
no, monologues are good when there's a lot of information necessary. Yeah, Donnie, I think we got to wrap it up here, man.
All right. One more.
Donnie Locks, appreciate you, man.
All right, yeah, that's fine. That's all good. All right. Thank you guys for your time. I really appreciate it. All right.
Yes, sir, man. Hey, thanks for coming up.
Thank you, man.
Keep researching this stuff. It's important. Yeah. Be the outlier in your community. Vote blue. Think about it at least. Okay.
All right. Sounds good, bro.
Thanks Donnie.
Thanks, Donnie. Be safe.
Appreciate it, man.
All right. I want to say before I go. Yeah, I'll let Harry go here, but I appreciate each and every one of you so much. All the support, the likes, the follows, everything, and the support on Cash App or Venmo or the gifts. I don't take it for granted. It means the world. The fact that I'm able to do this means so much. If you haven't followed me, you can click the little button. I post videos sometimes. If you haven't checked out Harry's most recent YouTube video, you should check it out. There's a link in his bio. He is crushing it right now on YouTube. Post some good videos, and it would go a long way if you just maybe watched it and left a like. And Law of the Wild, of course, is doing great stuff and always gives us really great information about the law. So you should follow him. I appreciate you guys so much. I'll be on tomorrow. Harry, thanks for letting me up. Law of the Wild, good to see you.
Yeah, man. All right, Chris, thanks, man.
Peace, guys.
I have a few thank yous to read if you don't mind, Harry.
Absolutely.
All right. I missed these ones earlier, so hopefully they're still watching. Bren, $5. Thank you so much. Jillian, $5. Clarissa, 10. Thank you. Trisha, 25. That's awesome. Thank you so much. Minecraftical, $20. Thank you very much. Brenna, $10. Thank you. And she's going to write about this in her con law class this semester.
Hell yeah.
So that's exciting. Mary, $50. That's amazing. Thank you. And Carlos, he sent me $1 and he asked me, or he wanted me to tell you, I shouldn't do this for $1. My time isn't worth this.
I know Carlos. He's gonna. I know what it's gonna.
It's that you have 0 skibidi riz. And then Jack and Piper's mom, $20. Thank you so much. Spencer, 25. Matt, 10. Matt wanted me to elaborate where the money goes. What I'm using this for is frequently I'm a public defender, so I'll get assigned clients to me, and very frequently they're unhoused. And when they're unhoused, usually I'm able to get them out of court with little to no bail at all. But there's still some expenses that are related to maybe they don't have transportation to get back to wherever they lay their head. Recently, I've got a video up on my profile of a woman who was residing at a homeless shelter 20 miles away from where she was arrested. And the only reason she was arrested is because she missed a court date where the notice of the court date was sent to a her old homeless shelter, and the underlying charge was something incredibly minor that most people wouldn't have spent a day in jail for. But she had no way to get home and no way to cover her booking fee, the $25 booking fee that anybody who gets arrested has to pay. So because I've been up on Harry's Live before and people have made donations, I was able to just utilize some of that money without, going into my own pocket. Public defenders don't make tons of money, but I still try to help out people where I can out of my own pocket. But you guys were able to provide the resources that made it an easy decision for me to be able to pay off her booking fee, give her and even put $50 on her account, which she would get when she was discharged, just so that she could have a little bit of walking around money, catch a meal on her way home, things like that. So that's what it goes for. If you guys want to donate, don't feel any pressure to, but I'm happy to pass that along to people who need it.
Yeah, everybody, if you would like to, Venmo, Cash App in Law of the Wild's bio. I mean, as you just heard, like, he's doing amazing work with this stuff. This money is going to a really, really great cause. So always highly recommend that if you see Law of the Wild in my live or other people's lives, it's a really good place to put your money. And it helps real people. So Law of the Wild, thank you, man, for doing all that. And
I appreciate you, Harry. Thanks for the opportunity to come and nerd out on stuff.
Of course, man. It's always a fun time. So thank you, man, and have a good rest of your night. All right.
You too.
Thank you. Shout out Law of the Wild, everybody. And of course, make sure to follow him if you haven't already. I'm sure he'll type in the chat and we can maybe pin it if we have some mods in here. Yeah, everybody. Kylie, by the way, I see that you're spamming MAGA in the chat. You do not have live access. So I would let you up, and I would love to talk to you, of course, and we can you can tell me why you're here. There we go. Law of the Wild. Everybody, if you follow me, I would highly recommend you follow Law of the Wild. What is he up? What do we got? He's at guys. Law of the Wild's at 19.9K followers. Can we please get him to 20,000? Can we please get him to 20,000 right now? Can you just follow Law of the Wild for me? Just quickly, just get him to 20,000. If we have enough people in here can do it. Just even if we don't get there, just help him get there. A little bit. So shout out Law of the Wild, man. Seriously, what do we got? And there he goes. He hits 20K. Fantastic. Thank you, everybody. I appreciate you guys doing that for me. That means a lot. And thank you, everybody who donated to Law of the Wild, Chris and I. It's just, it's incredibly kind, especially with Law of the Wild going to like a really great cause, man. That's awesome. I actually have a couple here as well. Sanford, thank you for the $5 saying, how do we find Chris's Venmo? It's the same as his TikTok username. So there you go. He hasn't put it in his bio yet, but you know what it is. Annie, thank you for the $15 as well, the clapping emojis. Annie, I appreciate you. That's very kind. Thank you for being here, Annie. It's always a pleasure. Always a pleasure. Michael, thank you for the $1. Saying at least Brock Purdy doesn't overthrow screen passes. Well, he's trash, so I don't want to talk about it. Marissa, thank you for the $5 as well. Saying hi, Harry. Hello, Marissa. How are you? So yeah, I appreciate all you guys. Sorry, I just like blanked for a second. So anyway, I post on every single social media platform. I post on Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, YouTube. All under the same username, Harry J. Sisson. The link is in my bio for all of those platforms if you'd like to follow on those platforms. Also, make sure to drop a follow on TikTok. I post videos virtually every day. We do these lives virtually every day. So definitely follow and support on all the platforms. And listen, everybody, tomorrow is Saturday. So enjoy your weekend. Sleep in, relax if you can. Take the time for yourself and your family. See some people you care about, your loved ones, and anybody else in your life that you hold dear. And, drink some water, eat some good food, take care of yourselves, all right? So yeah, I'll leave it there. Thank you guys again for being here. Thank you for guys for joining the live and watching and all that stuff. It really means a lot. And we'll talk soon. Yeah. All right, everybody. Thank you, everybody. Mwah.
Russia from invading Ukraine?
Because that would start World War III.
Okay. So funding a war for multiple years is better.
Yes.
Trying to finish the war.
You understand that starting World War III is not a good thing, and that could lead to a lot of negative things happening, like
We're
possibly
in 3
nuclear
wars
war.
right now.
You understand that proxy wars, we've been engaging in proxy wars against Russia for literally what's it called? Thinking so much decades.
So we were funding a war in Russia and Ukraine 4 years ago?
So as it relates to this, we were doing a what's it called? A proxy war against Syria or against Russia and Syria.
And you like Russia and Syria?
No, I don't like proxy wars. I'm just telling you, the proxy wars aren't likely to lead to like World War III, as they've been happening for decades and haven't led to World War III.
Yeah. So why is this one different?
Why should we uphold Ukraine? The Budapest Memorandum.
I understand the Budapest Memorandum. That means that now we should step in and we should finish the war. Why do you continue to, support to keep the war going as long as possible?
I don't want the war to go on as long as possible. I obviously want to reduce
then how do we end it?
Again, I think that the way that we address this particularly is by funding Ukraine enough to be able to defend themselves against Russia, insofar as that it prevents future conflict with Russia and the rest of Europe. All right, along with the fact that it allows for your Ukrainian self-determination.
So
I don't know why you're laughing.
Because you want to.
I want to fund Ukraine to be able to stop these.
No, you want a war. You want to keep
I don't want a war
that won't end.
No,
Okay, so
I don't want
do
a
you-
war. War's happening because they're invading. Okay, so that's not. So you saying like, I want war is fucking insane. When I'm talking
Okay,
about
so if
defending a
they're
country.
invading, why don't
Hey,
we just
listen,
go
Joey,
in
be
and
quiet,
stop them
be
from
quiet, be
invading?
quiet, be quiet. I'm talking about defending a country. That doesn't mean I want war. That means given the scenario where someone's going to invade a particular country that we have an agreement with, we have to uphold our agreements. We have to defend. Okay, that's how it works. Me saying I don't want war is also compatible with I believe we should act in self-defense.